Flight boss. You know, things and so much shit done changed. It'll never be the same. All I can say is ride this motherfucking flight. Bitches wasting my gas, check me out. Spending money on Taco Bell, Burger King. The band look like a murder scene. Myrtle Street with whom it used to be at. Junior high, a place that I ain't never used to be at. Excuse the time, skipping school, stealing cars. Twisting boot, hit it hard. Hallucinate, go to lunch. Rejuvenate, roll a blunt for after school. Years pass and I'm still smoking. I can be sleep, but you can bet my eyes be still open. 10,080p, nigga, I'm real focused. When I shine, I'm like an eviction, bitch, you will notice. I stand tall, you can't overlook me. Straight from the bottom, you can't understand it. Nigga, you know I'm from another planet. I'm in the sky and I ain't fucking landing. I have relationship juice from gravitational loops. I have no patience for you, bitch, in a spaceship I flew. Need a bitch to cater to me, why should I cater to you? I got issues within the past, poke a pencil right through your ass. Giggling, then she laugh, feel the energy through the glass of the Hennessy. Baby happy that she done flew with me. These are why things feel awkward when it's just you and me. We can see fireworks jubilee. Baby, tell me whatever you believe. Just hoping you truly see, just move with me to another place in the universe. Did it anyway when you knew it hurt. Flight boss, they just ain't what they used to be. Ride that fly. I got so many things on my fucking mind. That fly. That's not my girl, she just a friend of mine. You know. She got me wasting gas in the summertime. The things like give me a name, give me a name, give me a name, you know, and for sure. The things like give me a name, give me a name, give me a name, you know, and for sure. Morning or night, call me alright. I've been flying like it ain't nothing, that's just part of my life. Heard you was talking down on the flight, but that ain't doing no work. Was making more money than you and I was doing them shirts. These things that occur, your flame will emerge. Till I understand that she just wanna ring like the Spurs, and she gon' get it, even if she with me or not. Now she's so different, even now she switched up her spot. I ain't got no business thinking of forgiveness or not, but she don't get it. So I gotta sit back and watch and see the sparks in the flame. No 4th of July, this source in my brain just forcing a shine. Let me start at my plane and get lost in the sky. This in my heart and my veins, and it's part of my mind. To translate it through music, the fans rated you useless. You know, compared to the flight, I'm in the air for the night. Niggas scratching their head like their hair getting light. So confused, watching my shit like man, he weird but he nice. I got a double-edged sword to cut the game right in half. Look up, baby, you see that flight of pass. Flight ball, they just ain't what they used to be. I got so many things on my fucking mind. That's not my girl, she just a friend of mine. She got me wasting gas in the summertime. They just ain't what they used to be. Ride that fly. I got so many things on my fucking mind. That's not my girl, she just a friend of mine. You know. She got me wasting gas in the summertime. Ride that fly.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I think my Discord link is still in the description box below. Let me see if I have to update it. Yeah, it should still work. So, yeah, for anyone who wants to join the Discord, if you actually look at the description box below, you will see it. All right. There's a link to it. Shout out to y'all in the live chat. Welcome to your Venus and Leo transit talk. All right. Shout out to Daywalker. Once again, for anyone who wants to join the Discord, the link is in the description box where it says Discord. But as you can see, this is the beginning of this Venus and Leo transit. Venus, which at current is about halfway through into the transit. This transit's gonna last up until October. So this is gonna start June 6th. Stephanie Stringer, I have gotten your chart. Thank you very much. For those of you who, of course, would like live readings, you are welcome to join the queue. All right. Of course, $30 minimum. And I will mention this again, but if you look at the description box below, I am offering Venus in Leo snapshot transit report. So for those of you who would like a 15-minute breakdown of Venus and Leo in your chart for this period up until October, I only have 15 spots available. And for the first 10 people who order using the half off code, you'll have that half off code available. So yeah, Stephanie, thank you. I got your PayPal. So we'll be starting for you with the Venus and Leo. The discount code for that snapshot transit report is Venus. So if you want half off on that, just type in Venus. And yeah, and I will mention this again near the end of this transit talk. So Venus is going to be retrograding from July 23rd to September 3rd. Okay. So we got quite the transit ahead. Welcome to your golden glow up. All right. I really underestimated how significant this transit is set to be. And Venus is definitely going to be strutting her stuff. Couldn't miss this one for the world, really. So yeah, basically by the time we end the retrograde and Venus comes out of Leo, you're going to be walking and strutting with a different swag. You're going to have more of a courage and boldness within your own heart. And the way you adjust and shift your heart-led and felt direction relative to the social environments you're in is literally in the process right now of not just leveling up in a certain way, but beginning to integrate. And that, I think, now brings in so much more of prominence to the quality of this. Once again, for those of you who want, unlike the Mercury transit, and for those of you having Venus and Leo returned, this is definitely going to be a powerful return. We'll talk about that. For those of you who want the transit talk, and Sohail, thank you. Please make sure you send your chart as well, or your sun, moon, and rising, either in the PayPal notes or you just email that to me. So basically, like the Mercury transit talk won't necessarily be up for that much longer, but this Venus and Leo transit talk is going to be up until October. So I'm going to have this one up for a minute. So you do have time to get that, but of course, there are only 15 spots available. So please do keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, all right. Once again, this transit is going to be from June 6th to October 8th. Okay. And the significant thing about this is that, thank you guys. The significant thing about this is that We start this transit off during the middle of Gemini season, and we end this transit off during Libra season. And what do we know about Libra season? The Libra season is going to be South Node on the eclipse. So basically, this is preparing you. This Venus transit is effectively Venus hijacking your swag and saying, hold on, homie, you're not the same person you used to be before. And definitely is going to integrate a further adjustment of how much more you can step into your charisma, how much more you can step into your boldness. You're not going to date the same after this. You're not going to approach things that you love the same after this. You're not even necessarily going to love things the same or love the same things after this as well. And the reason why this is super significant is that this transit starts off with the opposition to Pluto and the square to the North Node and Jupiter. So this is not only the beginning of this integration process, but you unknowingly at this space are in the process of, through this integration, actually now expressing the nature of how much you leveled up. This is where the seeds are starting to sprout through the ground. And this is where everything over the past 6 months you've spent activating are starting to show itself in the level of development when it comes into how much more boldly you express yourself. Like there's certain things right now pre-retrograde that you might be blocked or getting in your own way when it comes to approaching what it is you love and desire, that after the retrograde, you will be a lot more fearless. You will be a lot more aligned. Some of you necessarily aren't as shy or turned off from doing what it is you want, but you don't really feel aligned. It doesn't necessarily seem right. You might be caught in some kind of confusion. And that's because Venus does not want you to move ahead faster than you are prepared, because this retrograde period is going to reveal more wisdom through your heart that in Leo will be boldly integrated socially with others. So let's actually go back in time, because we want to look at where this conjunction cycle actually started. We know that Venus conjuncted Pluto, as you can see, in Capricorn. Mercury did that as well. So we know that Venus conjuncted in Capricorn January of 2023. Pretty much the first few days of January, the very end of December. If we now move forward, okay, Venus conjuncted Aries at March 2023. Okay, these are very key dates. Is the Venus report already sold out? Great question. You know, it is not sold out yet, 12 NCs. I still have 15 spots available. It looks like some people are in the process of ordering it right now, though. So I definitely do. Oh, honey, so hell, use the peace dealer at gmail.com is my email. Yeah, it looks like some people might be in the process of ordering. So I always recommend to order it as soon as possible, just in case it is. But as it is now, it is not sold out yet. But yeah, and please email anything to the peace dealer at gmail.com. So I want to show you these dates. Once again, of course, in a transit talk, I'm going to break this down a lot more in depth and give you relative to your chart and natals how this will go. Fran, how do I order a Venus reading? Great question. Basically, if you guys actually just look in the description box down below. One here is my Discord, actually. So the Discord will take you to that link. Second, here is, let me actually copy and paste this Discord link So this Discord is right here. You should be able to see this to join. Now, if you look at this link down below, it's going to take you to the actual snapshot transfer report. And if you use the code Venus, you will get 50% off. The first 10 people to use that code will get it half off at $50. Okay. So with that being said, once again, I just wanted to emphasize, if we look at these dates right here, all right, we know that at the very beginning of January, no problem, friend. We know at the very beginning of January, we had Venus on Pluto, all right? And then we know that at the very beginning of March, the 6th of March, we had Venus on Jupiter. You want to actually, oh, Katie, for those of you who'd like an Aries North Node transit reading, if you go to the recorded reports and you look up an eclipse reading, my eclipse reading is available for anyone who'd want insight on the North Node. I have 15-minute and 30-minute reports for that. Really great time to do that. I'm going to do a North Node Aries. I don't want to just do a transit talk for that, so I'm going to do a special webinar. I'll do a transit talk maybe to promote for the special webinar. But yeah, for those of you who want the eclipse reading, I highly recommend that you most definitely, get that. All right. So once again, I want you to think about the beginning of January and the beginning of March. Really ask yourself, where were you at? Because now at this stage is a really good idea to gauge where realistically you were at and feeling. And let me actually go into why. So this was the conjunction of Venus. It was an activation. This is so iconic because it was on Chiron. Chiron and Venus together is true love. And the Aries was this activation of the evolution of your heart and your approach to your own individual desire or sense of beauty, right? And love. So Mars had this conjunction, Mercury had this conjunction in the relative nature of Venus here. Okay, this is a very iconic conjunction. So go back to the beginning of January where Venus was in Capricorn on Pluto, and then the beginning of March where Venus was on Jupiter. Relative to that evolution, if we go a month later, what do we see? We see Venus that eventually squared 29-degree Pluto at the end of March. Okay. So by the time we had at the end of March, Venus was square Pluto. Venus square Pluto at the end of March, manifesting the evolution of Jupiter, started to grow from the ground, this awakening of your heart that happened in the beginning. Okay. And so relative to the square post the conjunction, now we have the opposition. So the 6th of June was the completion of that conjunction January. What you are experiencing right now is the awakening of your heart. This is huge. This is huge. Ever since Venus and Mars touched down after that opposition, you have been experiencing the harvest of the awakening of your heart and your desire. By the time Venus is in Libra, squaring Pluto, and by the time Mars squares Pluto, got you, Sandy, you're going to complete this harvest. Coming out of the social dynamic where the way you express yourself socially is going to be at such a heightened level. See, up until this point, you spent time activating the evolution. So while you're going through the process of evolution, you're not necessarily going to see what exactly was growing underneath the ground. Now that the seeds have grown through the ground, you are now harvesting this. So, based on that awakening of your heart at the final degrees of Capricorn at the beginning of January, now midway during the year, your heart is now awakening its supernatural abilities with your power and Mars. And the expression of this harvest is going to play itself through in how extremely confident and bold you express your heart. So, congratulations, because this retrograde phase is going to reevaluate how you take elements of this harvest and literally pimp your life. You're literally going to, because if you ask me, love is a pimp. I want to make everyone his house. But this is going to be this pimp coming through and snazzing you up, putting you in or taking you out the game. Okay, however it is you perceive this. And that square to Jupiter that's simultaneously happening relative to the beginning of March. Remember, you had Venus on Chiron on Jupiter in Aries. So relative to that activation, now the exact square is sprouting from the ground what you've evolved. So you are getting ready to integrate the harvest of this awakening of your heart relative to experiencing an increasing evolution of how much more bold you are, how much sexier you are, how much more confident you are. Pre-retrograde, right? You are not fully aware yet. Devin, you have people asking where you were for a few days. I love it. What if someone was in our space March and June 6th? Ancient Rose, that is a phenomenal question. And honey, thank you. I did get your chart. All right. Ancient Rose, that is a phenomenal question. All right. Because once again, when we take into account these spaces, because of the North Node in Taurus, they most definitely are included in the process. And you most definitely want to keep in mind who you are thinking about and who you are talking to. You could have been talking to or thinking about certain people who may not be relevant to the rest of your life, but they were a placeholder, okay, for how you were meant to really focus on how to deal with these people, or these could be people who are meant to be significant for your life for the rest of your life. Okay, Regina, if you want to pay for a live reading, for anyone who said emailed me a chart, the minimum for the live reading is 30. If you look at the description box below, you'll see my Cash App, PayPal, or the Venmo. And then for anyone who wants the reading, if you just click the link below, you'll be able to pay through the website. And once again, Venus is, of course, not just thinking of romance, but will also really help with career, will also really help with finances, especially when we are dealing with, if this is in your 10th house, 6th house, regardless, because Venus also represents in Leo, especially this extravagant and flamboyant expression of your creativity, this is also what's going to be responsible for stepping you up into a much higher tax bracket or level of money that you work with, even if this level of value is just increased confidence and you being more. Some of you post retrograde are going to feel so beautiful in your body applying these manifestation principles and assumption that you're going to see a lot of these begin to integrate together in how you express this with other people. Since January and coming into March, you were mulling over individually about how to define your heart, how to define what you love. Now in Leo, you're going to now express this with other people. as Venus and Leo wants to remind you what you love and what you find fun. So, first of all, this square to Jupiter in the North Node is putting you in a position with Jupiter that's now 10th house of career from Venus to actually, as this sprouts through, have you experience and shift the quality of how much money you get, how much value you express, how much people really want in on your value. You're going to see the quality of your talents reach a stronger quality as well, relative to your willingness to rise up to that value and to put yourself in a position to very magically express this value. Because with Venus and Leo, it is pushing you against this Pluto opposition to have the courage and boldness to express your desires with Mars and take certain risks with doing that. Okay. This is going to confront fears that you may have had expressing your talents towards others. Some of you after this may be openly courageous to sing to people, whereas you would never in a million years ever see yourself doing that. So this is geared up to be a very life-changing transit. And with the element of the nodes that are going to shift into Aries during this period, where Venus will trine this coming out, you are going to be destined to connect with certain romantic and platonic connections that are going to aid in your integration. What's going to happen is when Mars and Venus go into Scorpio, the opposition to Jupiter now, while simultaneously completing the harvest of awakening with Pluto, is going to begin to harvest this evolution, this richness of how much more people want to invest in your creativity, in your beauty, and in your heart. So from now until July 23rd, you are in the process and period of coming out of the fog and shadow of you realizing how beautiful you are. And this is nothing you have to force yourself to do. You are free to watch The Ultimate Guide to the Law of Assumption by Indigo Dietrich. But really, just in a nutshell, living and thinking as if you are in the end state. What the activation has served to remind us is that you are omniscopic in potential, and there's nothing you can't do. You literally have the vehicle through your mind and consciousness to create from your own thoughts any experience you want to create. Yes, it is that simple. All you have to do is just accept that. When you must let go and surrender in order to manifest what you want, you are surrendering to God all your doubts, all your fears, that stupid voice within you that's like, I can't get what I want. Why is this happening? You have to give that up to your higher self. You must surrender that. It is real, or you just have to keep on being content with the circumstances you keep reflecting. You have the ability to change any situation. It is literally up to you. You must live as if you are already. And Katie has nailed it. Letting go is the hardest part. It's taken me 30 plus years to accept that. I wanted to cling on to this for dear life because it gave me a sense of control. If I can at least control these negative thoughts that I am thinking, even though it doesn't give me what I want, I still feel like I'm in control of that. I had to let go of feeling like I had to know what's happening. I had to let go and surrender to the vision. And it was only until I did that, miracles continue to happen on flow. And I allowed the true part of myself to guide me through this literal illusion All right. Because the real you is beyond any of this. And this life is putting you in a position to guide through this so that we can do this together and have fun in the process. And that's the point of what I'm saying. Now that you've activated this realization, the integration of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo wants you to now have fun with it. Now that you know that life is what you make it, Venus and Leo wants you to make this fun. Venus and Leo is like, okay, you can literally have anything you want. Now Venus and Leo is looking at you like, is that all you want? This is hella boring. Like, what are you trying to, like, do you really even want this? Or do you know what more you can accomplish? So you're going to be put on the edge so that Venus can, with the Neptune quincunx, inspire you to dream bigger and innovate the nature of these dreams into the creativity you express socially with others so that you can see literal magic happen. And this is where, as this transit begins during the middle of Gemini season, we do see Venus and Mars break through the first decan. What I would consider the first checkpoint here is this sextile, this quincunx rather, with Venus and Saturn in Pisces. So this is the beginning of the integration, or rather the ending part of the integration before the opposition with Mars and Venus and Virgo with Saturn. And the reason why this is very, very beautiful, if we think about February, where this conjunction with Saturn happened, perhaps in Aquarius, this integration is where now you're starting to see elements of your heart bring all together elements of your dreams in social situations that are tying pieces together, this being one such social situation. Okay. And as we move forward, and now we fast forward into where we are with Venus halfway through the transit, Pluto's retrograde back in the Capricorn will eventually re-quincunx Leo. All right. And this is going to be a closing quincunx that will facilitate at the end of this transit a complete transformation. So this is telltale proof that by the time we reach October 8th and Venus is 29 degrees leaving Leo, your love life is 100% going to transform. Why is your love life transforming? Aisha, I got your Cash App. Thank you very much. Honey, please make sure, I want to make sure, honey, please make sure you send in a Cash App or a PayPal, or you can pay on Super Chat as well. All right. But Aisha, please send me your chart to my email, or you can send the sun, moon, and rising. Okay. So once again, once we end this transit post retrograde, your love life is going to completely transform. And that quincunx to Pluto is representing the completion of this. Oh, honey, thank you very much. Let me see. I just need this to update. I think I'm having like lagging issues. Yeah, what PayPal did you send it to? I have not necessarily received your PayPal. But please let me know if you sent it to the correct PayPal. But yeah, personally, this is very, very important because the nature of this transformation that's occurring is harvesting superpowers that you've awakened. So you're integrating how powerfully you're in a position to realistically, and honey, no worries, my PayPal is my email, thepeacedealer@gmail.com, or it's at the peace dealer. Okay, one of those two. If it's anyone else you might have sent to the other one. Sheeman, I do have Zelle. So how do you pronounce that? Is it Sheeman or Shyman? But I do have Zelle. My Zelle is also my email, thepeacedealer@gmail.com. Ancient Rose, thank you for your chart. Willow Bay, thank you for your Cash App. And please email me your chart as well. Okay. So basically, Sheeman, perfect. So basically, relative to once again this transformation, you are polishing. My Zelle is thepeacedealer@gmail.com. So basically, the nature of the integration of your heart is putting the polishing touches of how you express these abilities with finesse and beauty. And this shadow period is similar to you being more beautiful beyond belief, but you may not see it. You may be in a position where you might be caught up in this weird transitions point. So please comment an exclamation mark if you know that you have stepped into the next level, but you're not necessarily sure what that looks like. You feel this disconnect between what you're capable of, but how to do it. You may not necessarily be sure of how exactly to express it. It's just like, shout out to King Change. It's just change. It's just like maybe this unrealized potential that you are wanting to actualize. For those of you who are commenting this exclamation mark, you are feeling this unlimited potential. I love how the Virgo said, I know the how. This is really important. You are feeling this potential of what you are literally putting out. For those of you with Virgo energy, you will most likely know a little bit more of the how and really be able to push that through. And I love the blind faith comment. So let's actually talk about this because it's all coming together. And this coming together feeling is putting you in a position to make real sense of this. Because by the time Venus goes into Virgo, this is going to now further make very real the liquidation of your value, the real practical money and change of lifestyle and behavior that comes through this. Okay, so this is going to really help you know how to execute this, and this process of you right moving through is personally going to be evidenced through this retrograde. So as we move forward, first of all, we do see the sun will be moving through Cancer, and Venus is going to retrograde. I got your PayPal, Sohail. Thank you very much. Okay. We're going to see Venus retrograde July 23rd. So the very if you don't believe in yourself, you won't make it. And honey, thank you very much. If you don't personally, the once the sun enters Leo, the Venus is going to retrograde. And this is what I love about this transit. We have sun in Gemini, sun in Cancer, then we're going to have sun in Leo, sun in Virgo, and then we're going to have sun in Libra. Okay. So basically, the sun is in Gemini, Venus enters Leo. And then when the sun enters Cancer, the Cancer period that we're going through right now is transcending old feelings about what you're worth. So you are stepping into at current a more bold definition. Right now, compared to 6 years ago, compared to the beginning of the year, there are certain approaches towards what you desire that you are a lot more confident approaching. If you were to ask yourself right now, there still could be some element of doubt, but you are definitely a lot more capable of venturing in through this. Because the sun is behind Venus, your heart may not necessarily be in that position to come into this awareness of exactly how much sauce you're oozing. And that's where the sun and Leo catch up is going to bring this epiphany. While the sun goes into Leo, and you personally will retrograde back into this realization, that retrograde process is where the sun's consciousness with Venus is going to make you aware of, oh wow, this is all coming together. This is how much you're going to feel like you have so much more strength. You're going to feel like, wow, what am I going to do with all of this? Okay, so this Cancer season is deepening the depth of sincere emotion that fuels how much more confident everything is coming together. And this is a very important process, especially as we see Mars and Venus reaching the end. Of course, by the way, Mars and Venus traveling together, and King Chains, yes, this can be replayed as many times as possible. All right. This traveling together is putting you in a position to infuse your desire and sexual charge with your heart and its love. So this is enabling you to intertwine this passionate creativity, which during this period you want to manifest and infuse towards creative projects. You really want to listen to your heart, and it's going to call you outside your comfort zone. It's going to push you in spaces, unless you are a Leo or unless you are these solar energies, it's going to put you more in your element. You're going to be in a position to really discover a lot more, a more passionate understanding of things you love in ways maybe you didn't really approach before, because now you have evolved to the next level. And this is where I feel like, with the closest Mars and Venus will ever get, you really do have the potential to initiate or attract very passionate and sexual, romantic and or platonic experiences. Once again, be, especially if you're living in the end state, if you are already thinking as if the person who is in that awesome relationship or these awesome relationship dynamics, this is going to naturally lead you into these experiences that will show up, and then you just show up for it. The only thing you have to do during this transit, or really ever, is show up. That's it. Really maintain the state of what it is you want to experience. And as you facilitate and integrate this EXP boost, you want to just show up and have fun. You don't want to, when it goes into Virgo, you can now worry about perfecting the finesse of and quality of how you do what you do, but you want to really just have fun. So spend this part of the Venus and Leo transit, especially diving deeper into the feeling of how much fun you're having. Because Venus' second house to the sun is you manifesting, once again, financial energy through your courage. This can translate into lots of money relative to how much you express this value courageously. So let's see what happens now once we're ready to leave Cancer season. By the time we get into the end of Cancer, which I think is very symbolic, first of all, the quincunx that's occurring at the end is going to give you a sneak peek of how your love life is going to completely transform. but the retrograde is going to reevaluate your approach. So this is where the sun is going to meet Venus, and now this golden glow up process will take place. So everything from the beginning of this transit to the beginning of the retrograde is the pre-glow up process. Right now, you're pre-glowing up. Okay, Angelica, thank you very much for your PayPal. All right. Um, please make sure you send me your chart. Let me see. Regina, thank you very much. All right. And Angela, yes, please make sure you email me your chart or your sun, moon, and rising. So basically, this pre-glow up period is you setting orders. The way you want to see this as is you're manifesting the order. You're manifesting and coming into a realization of what it is you really want. And the way you can make sense of this for some of you is put in orders. Really imagine if Venus sponsored a shopping spree for you. And she loves you. You know what I mean? She wants to see you happy. She wants to see you have fun. Really immerse yourself. And because Venus isn't a social sign, challenge yourself. Unless you're already social, go out. Even if you go out in your imagination, incorporate some fun. Really explore and see where your heart leads you. Because this pre-glow up period wants to give you different experiences to show you what it is you might like. These things you might 100% be led and drawn to. Okay. Because by the time, and yes, artist events, anything that's really social, like a bonfire where people are expressing talents, you're going to be heavily inspired. Once the glow up period starts, these orders are going to begin the process of showing itself. And once the sun is now second house from Venus in Virgo, they're going to manifest. You're going to see this transcend and manifest into your Virgo reality, opposite Neptune, bringing that from the dream realm into reality. So this is this arc where everything you've activated through this glow up of your heart is going to express your power. Let's make sense of this. Your power integrating with the sun is your conscious awareness of your ability to snap your finger 2 times and then water just magically appears. Let's say that's your super ability, the water hack. Boom, I got water. What this Venus integration is doing is polishing how much finesse you use this water hack. So by the time you're done with Venus, double cup. Now you're still working with this power, but like there's so much more beauty, there's so much more grace, it's so much more aligned with what you like. These are different, whereas Mars is just going to be more the focus and desire of what you do with this. So for those of you who are feeling this, you know what I'm saying? The best is yet to come. This is going to produce a lot of exhilaration because you're going to be feeling your manifestations come together. You're going to be literally elevating the amount of resources, money, courage, and fun you feel. It's going to feel like you have excess energy you've never really even used, that you're going to finally really be like, what can I do with all this? And it is a very exciting, exhilarating feeling. So once we actually step into Leo season, we will see this station turn retrograde in Leo. And I want to really emphasize that it is not at all a coincidence that we do effectively see Venus begin its retrograde as the sun is getting ready to catch up to this. By the way, Mercury during this period will also have completed its integration period with Saturn and its harvest with Pluto. So you will also be coming into a much stronger intellectual understanding of effectively how you're communicating this. And that's one of the first aspects that we will see with the Mercury-Venus conjunction. Okay, by the time Mercury conjuncts Venus and then passes over into Virgo, now Mars and Mercury are opposite Saturn in Virgo. So the karmic completion of this fundamental breakthrough of your supernatural abilities, by this point, you're able to begin perfecting how you use this. You're no longer wondering how to do this. You're creating exactly how you've mastered this. Okay. KC, the exact date of this conjunction we will see is actually going to be on the 28th. And would you look at that? On the 28th of July, they're going to be conjunct 28 degrees, King Kunk's Pluto at 28 degrees. Coincidence? I think not. And I'm glad you asked, because you'll find on the 28th, especially if this is happening on any points near your chart, not only is this a yod between Neptune and Pluto, the finger of God that's pointing here on your heart is this integrative activation between your mind and heart that clicks everything in the gear. And this is the point of this golden glow up where you're now expressing the mastery of this integration of your abilities. You are infusing how passionately you can express what you've activated and learned how to master with other people. And this is where, moving into the Virgo, the practical application of this is further experienced for such great benefit. Regardless, the retrograde with Venus, as the sun catches up to it, is going to be strengthening the courageous quality with which your word, which is your magic wand, is used to express with straight passion how you've prayed for this day to come. And I want you to really see it like this huge payoff, because a huge element of this with the Taurus energy and North Node energy is going to show you the shift of where you direct all of this. This is another major facet of this that is mind-blowing and perplexed, because we want to also look here. The North Node is 28 degrees. So while we have this yod, the North Node in Aries is going to be moving you in the direction that you've always wanted to move in. The reason why a lot of you feel stuck is because the North Node in Taurus was still having you anchor your roots before you go off on this mission. And that's why you feel this intensity. Mind you, the North Node in its square to Pluto is going to kick off this period with a bang. We could be at war during this period, or it's definitely going to be intense, but you're going to feel more in your purpose than ever. So that's another thing to really think of during this period. This retrograde motion in its trine to the nodes is actively shifting the destiny of your relationships with other people. And why that is super significant is there are relationship dynamics with people now who, ever since maybe years ago or recently, you may have felt for the longest time you are absolutely. That's a great question. Your North Node being in Aries will help you identify a bit more with this, because you're naturally used to this placement, and it's going to apply more directly to your personal destiny. There are people who spirit has guided you towards, and you've been wanting to understand more depth into why you see synchronicities about these people, or maybe perhaps what you're meant to do with these people. This is where this is going to open up. This is where you're going to be in a chance situation where, you know, they show up in the same store that you were at and you didn't even know you were going to be in that store. So this is where you really want to surrender your doubts, surrender any kind of fears to destiny, because this is all meant to play out the way it's supposed to, and you being fully focused on what it is. This is why when you're doing what it is that you love, you're going to be so focused doing what it is you love in Venus that the trine of Aries is going to connect you with who you're meant to move forward with, right? It's not you really wallowing in doubt like, oh, why can't I be with the love of my life? They're not just going to show up in front of you. while you're following where your heart is leading you and you're in these creative spaces having fun, the North Node in Aries is going to use this authenticity to route you to where you're meant to be in these opportunities where someone's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? This is such a beautiful talent that you have. Hey, do you want to show up to this performance and do that? Like, things are just going to be clicking during this period. And the reason why it's important to preface this is first of all, August 7th, by the time Jupiter is squaring the sun, that date during Venus retrograde is a crucial point where we are breaking through this evolution. So all these elements of evolution are accessory to the main quality with the sun. Yeah, your heart is breaking through its evolution, but it's all revolving around the sun. Okay, thank you guys. So personally, what really breaks through from this is this profound sense. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so honored that your mom even listens to me. I hope you guys stay blessed as always. What's really beautiful about this is that, remember, we had this conjunction in Aries. We had the sun conjunct Aries with Jupiter. We had the sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries. And that activation of power is now being expressed boldly. So that means if the power you activated was sparking fire from your hands, the sun in Leo is expressing your ability to apply this activation to light with your own hands devices. Now you're breaking this through the ground. Huge deal, because we had this conjunction, of course, at the end of Aries. And now this middle work is going to see the grounding of Taurus begin to integrate before we harvest this in Scorpio, this evolution. So that is a major checkpoint. Okay. And once we actually come into the conjunction here on the 13th and 14th, this is what is going to facilitate not only instant breakthrough, but the square to Uranus is going to trigger a sudden awakening to where you're overlapping this breakthrough and integration with supernatural, extra dimensional energy and insight to charge your physical body with this courageous sense of your expression. And even if we now factor in this new moon that's going to happen at the end of Leo here, we're going to have Sun, Moon, Venus, and Lilith in Leo. This, I think, is going to be one of the most awesome new moon cycles we have, because this activation is bringing in spicy ass Lilith here. And the spicy element of Lilith is going to invigorate your heart towards this raunchy sense of expression. Lilith in astrology speaks to sex for the sake of pleasure, which is what some would suggest led to the demonization of Lilith. And this is why Lilith is very taboo with people who have Lilith aspects with you as well. So Lilith and Venus is going to activate new sexual desire for some of you. This doesn't even have to be sexual in a sense where you're lusting for people. In an impure sense, this could be a very toxic lust, but I really see this as infusing this for a lust for life. A deeper lust for life can really activate here. And the most important part about this new moon is that it still lightly is a part of the yod, the finger of God here, that's going to be taking this transcendent sense of your imagination and the powerful awakening of your body to express this knowledge through courage and perform real time a lot of how much you break through. So this is the culmination point of the golden glow up, where you are looking in your social environment and you are so much more courageous. You're taking a lot more risks. You're shooting a lot more shots, and they are swishing in like never before. And a lot of surprise developments come through. So let me explain the yod. The yod, okay, is a combination of two quincunxes. As you can see, Venus and the Sun are quincunxing Neptune, and then they're also quincunxing Pluto with Lilith and with Mercury. So what makes it a yod is that Pluto and Neptune are focusing on Leo. It's literally like a finger, okay? As you can see, especially those of you who have yods in your chart, yods in your chart are going to represent difficult aspects of breakthrough, because there are lessons you have to focus on through that difficulty. So let's study the nature of this yod. They're fixed yods, they're mutable yods, and they are cardinal yods. This is a fixed yod. A fixed yod establishes a very powerful element of strength. The nature of this finger of God is pressing on your heart. And because we have Capricorn and Pisces, the perceptual element of Pisces is the adjustment of your imagination. It's a good way to think about a yod. If I'm pressing this right here, well, the angle at which I press on this, and the Leo King is really nice with yods too, so you definitely want to get his insight. But the angle at which you press this is going to influence how hard it is. If I push this at a certain angle, I'm not going to be able to push it down because it's going to move. But if I push it at the right angle, I can apply my pressure to this. See how, depending on the angle that I press, there's more pressure that I can put. So now the angle that I push this down is mutable. It's the adjustment and perception that in Pisces I'm imagining in. And then Capricorn is the power with which I'm pushing down. This is what's going to, relative to the extreme integrity and then the imagination in Pisces, it's going to let me know how boldly I express my heart. Because, oh wow, thank you so very much. Because with the extremeness of Pluto, it's going to influence the integrity that you express your heart through. And then Neptune is going to influence the nature of imagination as to the creativity of how much you express. And so this is definitely also going to break you through the sense of restlessness for some of you who may feel this build up. So this yod is very, very, very important, because once again, post this golden glow up period, now once we have the sun enter Virgo, okay, first of all, we have the sun at this yod here, which is going to maintain a lot of that. But once we actually have the sun enter Virgo, all right, it's not going to be until the 3rd that the retrograde completes itself. All right. And as we look at that, right, now that the sun is in Virgo, as you can see, it's the 7th and Venus is direct. Thank you, Ruby. So relative to this aspect now, this is where the magic really happens. Okay. So we know that Leo season is going to activate this golden glow up. Right now, we're in the pre-glow up period. You're putting in your orders. You're putting in your idea of how you want to express this. And a good way to see this is the activation was Venus, that was basically filling your bank account with stacks, with mass stacks. Venus is like, look, you're going to have to upgrade your swag. I'm sorry. Like, you can do better. And that's what Venus is telling you right now. You can do better. And you're feeling how much better you can do. Then the sun's going to go in Leo. You're in the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? You already bought your clothes in Cancer season. Now you're trying your clothes on during the golden glow up. Now the Venus retrograde is Venus being like, you gonna put them on like that? You got to put them on like you got more gusto. You know what I'm saying? It's literally adjusting how much confidence you rear what you got because you put these orders in. Now, once the sun goes into Virgo and Venus is direct, now you're ready to strut your stuff. Now you're ready to take what you got into these social situations. And this is where we have the opposition of this Virgo energy to Pisces. And this is putting you in a position to complete the harvest. You are harvesting the manifestation of everything you dreamed of 6 months ago. Everything with the Pisces conjunction was everything you imagined you wanted to experience. Now you're really experiencing it here. And this is where Venus is now building in its nature to facilitate this. But get this, now we have Venus once again squaring Jupiter. But this time the Venus square is squaring Jupiter retrograde. Okay. Which we see happening during the new moon in Virgo. So this new moon in Virgo opposite Neptune is very, very pivotal and iconic because this is putting you in a position to manifest your awareness of everything that you have already just glowed up, while Venus is giving you deeper insight into this breakthrough of how much you've evolved. So you're going to be a lot clearer that at this new moon point, you have activated how you're going to express this. Remember, Virgo answers how. So this integration relative to the creativity, you are now actually aware of how to master this. And that's what that cycle into Libra is going to represent. Remember, Virgo is practice, practice, practice. So once we now segue into Libra season, this is where you're going to be actively in this cardinal sign, breaking through, because this is the breakthrough arc, into the classic expression of everything you mastered. Libra, Scorpio, Sag is breakthrough. Okay. Mars will be leading near the nodes. And this is where things get even deeper, because now that the sun is transiting the south node, this is going to make you aware of significant partnerships that you're meant to let go, or you're meant to shift the direction of. This can also introduce past life soulmates, past life counterparts, people from early childhood, old relationships that you never thought you would really resurface so that you can gain closure or move forward with. This could be people you meet for the first time ever, but they feel familiar with you, that type of thing. And Libra season will even be more sexy. But that south nodal aspect is to prepare you 6 months later in Aries season, what direction you're meant to define your individuality in. And as you can see, we already have this full moon in Libra, in Aries. This full moon in Aries is going to now really show you at the square of Venus and Uranus, the very, very, very bold integration of how you're taking the eccentric quality of your supernatural wisdom and now add an element of genius into innovating everything that you have already begun to master. And that's where, of course, coming into the end of October, we end the transit. All right. 27 degrees of this quincunx is going to represent, of course, before Pluto does go direct, because Pluto's going to go direct at 27 degrees, the transformation of your love life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Venus and Leo in a nutshell. So please let me know, how was that interpretation? I hope it wasn't too vague. I want to make sure I still did provide a really good enough assessment. Please feel free to listen to this message at least 3 to 7 times during this transit. One now, one during the retrograde, one after the retrograde through the shadow period, because you'll just kind of gain a little bit more insight relative to the context. Because once we're in Leo season, what you're going to experience is going to bring you more context. Oh, that's what the peace dealer meant. Oh, that's how to see this. And I mean, you guys are freaking amazing. I'm really so grateful for you. This is the element of the community that we are building. And by the time this kind of glows up, I think we're all going to be in position to come together and to really kind of move forward as a group, as a society, as a collective. All right, you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you guys so much. So with that being said, the most important element of this is to really put yourself in a position to focus on what brings you happiness. Ask your heart, what brings you love? What brings you joy? All right. Actively have fun with the process of manifestation. Word. Actively have fun with this process. Actively challenge yourself each day to add elements to what you already love, to see how much more courageous and creative you can get with it. Personally, for me, this is my fourth house. So I'm going to challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone and to be more social and to really explore, what shows, what movies I want to see, and to really take advantage of this. Because if you show up, the universe will show up for you as well in ways that you can't predict, because this is just going to be so fun. All right. And if you are perpetually in this end state of just being the person who you want to experience all this, you're going to see the element of this accelerate in how fun this is. All right. So I really do appreciate you, Valerie. That's amazing. So yes, with that being said, the last thing I want to say about this is, now, because this is more of a heart focus, the heartfelt focus of the supernatural abilities relative to Venus's perspective is going to charge how much more powerfully you manifest money and value, and then you manifest romantic and or platonic relationship experiences that will ground out through Virgo. So when you're thinking about someone specific or in general that you want to be with, imagine you are with them now and really ask yourself, how would you put the Mac on them? How would you put the Riz on them? Imagine yourself what you're doing. This is what you're going to glow up. You doing this now versus by the time the sun is at the end of Virgo and into Libra is going to shift considerably. You're not going to approach it the same way. And this is going to make this process fun for you. Everything that might have been nervous or nerve-wracking, you're not going to feel that anymore. You're so much more in your power. This is going to be very fun. All right. I want you to imagine yourself making the exact money you want to make, living fun, spending your money on what it is. Literally live and imagine that right now. What does that feel like? How much confidence are you in commanding this? And release and surrender any doubt about your financial situation now. In fact, I cast away any brokenness you might be deluding yourself. You are not broke right now at all. If you want to do a ritual right now where we can deposit $5 million into your bank account, we could do that right now. If any of you want to be millionaires right now, this could be a practice and exercise to maintain this state. You don't have to, if you're struggling to believe it, if you're struggling to be like, I can't believe I have $5 million in my account, you don't have to believe you have $5 million in your account. And if you want to do more than that and do 37 million, it's up to you. You don't have to believe you have this. You just have to keep reminding yourself, oh, wait, I'm a fucking millionaire. I have millions of dollars in my account. I'm an infinity. All right. So if you want to do this, let's schedule the bank transfer. Hi, I am your bank teller, Mr. Peace Dealer. I understand that you would like to transfer some money into your account. Can I please have you imagine this transfer? Can I see you imagine any amount of money coming out from the limitless bank of your subconscious and transfer it into your account right now? I'm going to do this as well. 7 million came through. We are infinity air billionaire status. So there's really no limit. There's no one broke who is watching me right now. Anyone who doesn't have money, it's a choice that you have perpetually chosen to be there. And it's not even a bad thing. Even in this is personally putting you in a position to enjoy whatever state you're in, because you're limitless and you're getting ready to directly apply the real experience of this. It's no longer just in your head where you're just seeing synchronicities. You seeing the synchronicity is evidence you have quantum leaped. I hope you know that. Every time you see a synchronicity, it is a deeper layer of your quantum leap into that reality. Otherwise, you would not see the synchronicity. So keep getting excited. It's like driving down a street where you're seeing, oh, 5 miles away to the destination, 2 miles away. Leo wants you to have fun along the journey. So now that you have finished your bank transfer, I want you to really feel how much more awesome it is to now have deposited all this money in your account, and to just continue telling yourself in your head, I have unlimited money in my account. I just transfer this in my account. And what's going to happen is you are going to be seeing really strange coincidences and synchronicities guide you into the realization of this transfer. Really weird things are going to occur where, you were sent this money or you made this money. Don't worry about how, because it's here right now. All right. Great story. People love to say, when Neville Goddard was told that he can be in Bermuda. Oh, I forgot what it was called. Basically, let's just say it was the Bermuda Triangle. What was the place called? If anyone knows, please say in the comments. But basically, his guide said he was wondering how he can get to like Bermuda or something like that, and his mentor said, "You're already there right now." And he was like, "Okay, that's cool, but like, how do I get there?" And he's like, "Get out my face. Like, you are there right now." And he had to actually imagine himself in this place right then and right now. Okay. And he magically got Bermuda thing. There we go. He was able to get a ticket out of thin air to Bermuda. Granted, he is a sun in Pisces, and Pisces are just like unreasonably gifted with this ability, but like he is the example of how this works. He had to imagine himself in Bermuda or Barbados. Barbados. Thank you. He had to imagine himself in Barbados. And that's where it happened. Okay. You know my story with how I didn't know how I was going to make it to Cali, but someone that day called someone who needed their car driven from Wichita to Venice Beach. And that's how I got I literally drove a free ride to Cali. It was already set for me. I didn't have to know how. It was already set for me. So you can literally imagine how much money you have in your bank account and what you're making. Right now, I already know how much more I've grown in what I'm making in certain income streams. And now I'm happy. I'm not going to spend beyond my means in 3D, but I already know I got it. I already know that time is working it out. And now I can have more fun. And now it is more fun. So that's the swagger you want to have. All right. And with that being said, I am going to begin the live readings. Okay. We are going to start with Stephanie. All right. Happy solar return. I think this is going to be a very fruitful one for you. One thing we have to keep in mind is that with the shifting of the nodes, this is going to immediately unlock Pluto for you. So for those of you who were born in the early 80s or the late 70s with any kind of Libra planets in this is going to most definitely be an unlocking of your social potential and how you can use these gifts to further spearhead your individuality, which as a late aqua rising falls into your second house in Placidus, but also your third house in equal. So you will be manifesting the value of your raw original skill sets. And as a Cancer sun, you're going to be aware of this in this manifestation of your attitude and how it takes you into a higher success in your career. So, because Leo is second house from your Cancer, where do we know Venus is for you? Exactly on the North Node in Leo. So, the start of this Venus in Leo is putting you in a position to really focus and intertwine a return of how much more in your heart you can express this boldness. It's literally like renewing a deal and you're doing another 5 seasons with Venus. And the way you really step into your heart now that you have long since progressed into Leo is putting you in a position to be so much more aware of how much you've evolved, how much you've grown. And once again, as a late Aqua rising, you have your seventh house in Leo. So this Venus retrograde transit is going to prepare for you to manifest very exciting relationships with people, especially during Leo and the new moon in Leo. You're going to activate with Leo, Venus, Lilith, and the moon a new cycle of very golden partnerships with people that, as a Cancer sun, add value to your life. And because most of your sixth house is Leo, because most of Leo is in your sixth house or marks your sixth house, this is going to literally be making more awesome your routine, the value of your lifestyle, how you express these elements of your lifestyle. And I feel like the sextile to Libra that's going to be made will really give you deep insight into who to trust and who to deal with, who to maneuver with socially, as all of this will be adding so much more value in the Aries house that you have towards what direction you take your manifestation and the identity that you move forward, because your rising has probably progressed into Pisces or is getting ready to move into Aries as well. Okay. So, Stephanie, this is definitely a very, 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 I think, pivotal transit for you, especially because, of course, with Saturn and with with Saturn and with Neptune that are in your with Saturn and Neptune that are in your first house, this is having you manifest the transcendent quality of your individuality and how you are ascending your perception of yourself. Because remember, you are High Queen. We have to really, once again, remember you are the High Queen. So, like, there's a level of knowledge and regalness that you are coming into and approaching in this situation that is putting you in a much greater position to now, at this stage, integrate a lot of what you've put in work to do. And eventually Jupiter will make it through into Cancer. But as it's coming through into your fourth house, this is innovating your sense of comfort and how you really bring a lot more power in house. And really hope that interpretation speaks to you, because I think the purpose of this retrograde is to reevaluate how you form your lifestyle around new partnerships that guide you forward the new direction of where you're taking your destiny. Now, Elizabeth, we see you are a straight gangster. Okay, you got Saturn on the rising. Stephanie is the High Queen Aqua rising, and we see your natural royalty gang. Shout out to the Taurus risings. But being born in 1970, you have Saturn on your rising and your moon in Taurus. So you are the natural queen with the exalted soul. Okay, having the moon in Taurus with the rising in Taurus and Saturn means that not only are you a soul reaper and a vessel of great karma, but you're an embodiment of the world. You are an embodiment of the world's mysteries, grounded in all of your natural royalty. And similar to Stephanie, you're both Cancer suns. So both of you are high priestess queens. She is more stellar and in the stars. Stephanie, much appreciated. All right, we love you out here. And you are way grounded and bring such a command of the nature around you that Uranus and Jupiter that have gone over your rising are kicking off since 2011 a brand new cycle of evolution. So this already is huge. We didn't even get to Venus and Leo yet. This is huge. Okay, you're getting ready to come back around in preparation for a later Saturn return with Saturn that's on your nodes. So Saturn on your nodes is not only having you fulfill your legacy that you have already activated 2021, but you're being put in a position to come into all the rewards. You're literally coming into the experience of what the greatest success for you looks like. And this is really anchoring the challenge for you to develop your destiny, to really share this grace and royalty with all the people who belong with you. Okay. Now we know that this Venus transit is a Venus return for you. So this Venus return, just like Stephanie as well, is going to reinvigorate how you really come back to yourself and everything you love, because now with Jupiter on your rising, you're leveling up. So the way that you really approach things you used to love have a much deeper layer of nuance and depth, and you're approaching it with so much more maturity. So we know that this transit is going to be in your fourth house. It's going through all of your IC. Pluto retrograded over your MC, which is this awakening of your career. But because your moon is caught up in this Jupiter and North Node, you are feeling this pulse of evolution before the North Node goes further into your 12th house and puts you in a position to transcend the direction of these unconscious beliefs. What that means is, because you have Jupiter and Libra, as soon as the South Node during Cancer season, Joyce, you most definitely can. And by the way, for those of you who just joined, if you would like a snapshot transit report, please click the link below. We're going to talk about that. But before I do, honey, this is really beautiful, because this IC transit is all about really putting in more fun at home. As Taurus risings, love you too, Joyce. As Taurus risings, okay, this is putting us in a position to really redefine how we bring joy into our inner space. So after this transit, we're going to have so much fun just being home. We're going to have so much fun just going out and being the house party. You might even throw certain house parties or be the house party wherever you go. All right. Because you're going to bring your heart with you wherever you go, because your heart is your home. And so this could really also put you in a position to renovate your inner home, to engage in some real estate opportunities, as well as also be put in a position to engage romantically and bring people into your private life, perhaps reorganize moving situations with people, but most importantly, come into a deeper love of your soul than you have ever had. And this is where the South Node going over Jupiter is instantly during Cancer season going to very powerfully influence this sense of luck. And you are unlocking the balance of your lifestyle socially with others to move in the direction of your spiritual path and uncover your hidden identity, hidden aspects of yourself. Now that you've evolved, that you understand so much better than you did before when you might have been a child. Okay. And as a Cancer sun, this is going to translate into money, because this is all second house to you. So this is really more so the value of how it is you express your sincere emotions and how you really feel more at home, really coming into this greater value, and how you feel at home being more confident in yourself. All right. And that, I feel, is really going to anchor a lot, since you have Saturn on your rising. Jupiter's proximity towards this is going to prepare for the rest of the year, where Jupiter will finish its retrograde and cross over our late Taurus risings, where coming into 2024, we'll step more into this evolution of our beings. But up until this point, this is really going to have you completely step into so much more powerfully the nature of course, this capacity. Isaiah, please make sure. Oh, is that D. Taylor? I'm assuming Isaiah is for D. Taylor, but if not, please make sure you email me. Oh, no. D. Taylor, I feel like, is for Aquarius. So, yeah. Yeah. So Isaiah, please make sure you send me your chart. I feel this is Isaiah Hawk. All right, beautiful. So once again, for those of you, and Joyce, thank you. I did get your Cash App. For those of you who, of course, would like a snapshot transit report, a 15-minute look into this transit where I'll go a little bit more in depth. You can get this for $50 if you use the discount code Venus. All right, you'll get it for half off. The first 10 people to use that code, of course, will be able to get that. Let's see. Ooh. So yeah, please make sure you take advantage of that. I still have 15 spots left. So make sure you get that before it is over. Okay. So next we're going to do Ancient Rose. Okay. Ancient Rose. Wait a minute. Yeah, Aisha, Ancient Rose. We know you're Aries sun and we know you queen. Okay. We know you're the holy warrior. Moon in the 12th house, by the way, in Cancer makes you an ultimate legend. King Slime, aka Drake, he has this aspect too. He's a Leo rising with Moon in Cancer. You guys are the most special ultimate legends because the moon is in its dignity. So your holy soul is transcendent. And I mean, depending on the nature of the soul and the person, depends on how it feels. But of course, in your case, as the exalted sun, you have your moon in dignity and your sun in exaltation. You're a total gangster. You are the main character. So as a Leo rising, Venus is going to completely polish and remake the way you completely express yourself. When Venus retrograded on my youngest sister's Libra rising, she kind of got into a mini psychotic breakdown and she shaved off all of her hair. Granted, Pluto was squaring that too, and that Pluto square evoked inner fears that caused her to do that. I don't want to put her on blast or anything, but I thought it was such a beautiful symbolic representation of how astrology kind of expresses itself on the rising. Are you going to cut off all your hair? Leo will not let you. But this is definitely going to really remake the way you express and step forward with so much more confidence, especially because as a Leo rising, all this Taurus energy is in your 10th house. And like myself, you also have Venus in Taurus. So our taste buds are on fleek. And relative to this, this is coming at a position, second house to your Aries sun, where the money that you're going to be making is going to level up your career. The leveling up in your career is going to increase and expand Jupiter, the money that you're going to be making. So let's just be clear. You making money. And this is coming from a new sense. All right. This is putting you in a position where any new businesses or any new kind of financial or legacy you've set, by the time we step into September and this is all in your second house, you're already manifesting, results for the first round of before next year brings greater results. So the first thing I really want to speak to this, you have the North Node on Leo on Mars, and you're going to have that Mars return. That's going to really add so much more audacity. That's your key word. Really have the audacity to do whatever you want and then make a hair flip. You have to let these, excuse my language, you have to let these bitches know you're the queen. Hair flip your entire self off completely. Your response to anyone who challenges your authority, because you're not just a Leo rising with the god of war on your rising, you have destiny here. So it is literally your destiny to bring the heat. As your OG Mars is on there, you have to bring the heat. You have to be a diva, and that's a challenge. Because with the South Node in Aqua, you can really be cool with people. You can be really chill with people, and that can hold you back. You have to be the diva, 100%. I don't think your Aries has a problem with that. You have anyone questions your authority, you got to hit them with a hair flip. Excuse me, honey. Do you not know I am the holy warrior right here? Like I could smoke you. That moon in 12th house, that ultimate legendary power is transcendent psychic ability. You're not just emotional. Your ability to kind of tap in to the vibe is unparalleled, and these come with psychic superpowers that will remain mysterious. Okay. And thank you, Melissa. This really puts you in a position to flex your stuff like never before, because Mars is also going to be a part of this Venus conjunction. And by the time Venus starts to retrograde, coming into that glow up period, late August into September, is going to redefine how much more comfortable and bold you are as the sun fire goddess warrior that you have always been. It's very inspiring as well, because the North Node during Cancer season is going to what? It's going to trine your North Node. So that North Node trine from Leo to Aries is going to take your destiny of being yourself and put you on route to form a philosophical approach to how you show people and lead that by example. It's literally like you're going in adventure to express your crusade and be yourself as the Sunfire warrior goddess that you are. Okay. And shout out to Joy Rosa, Queen Golden Glow Up herself. All right. So I think that's really beautiful. The 12th house nature of the retrograde is going to help you reevaluate. It's like you're going to look at yourself in the mirror during that new moon and you're going to be like, wow, more beautiful than I ever thought. And so this is going to change your beliefs around what's possible for you. All right. And how much you're going to legitimately turn it up, which at this point, I'm excited for you because you're going to be bringing other people so much vibrance. You're going to be this shining light that's just going to be very, at this point, super duper duper awesome. Let's go now to Willow Bay. Okay, Willow Bay. We see this is for Regina. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So this we see your sun is Aries, your moon is in Gemini. I love that. And your rising is in Leo. So this is good, 20 degrees. So that means the new moon that we're going to have with the sun, moon, Venus, and Lilith is going to be in your first house. You're going to embody this, which is very iconic. And as an Aries sun, right, similar to ancient Rose, which is what I love. Both of you are sun goddess warrior queens. And let me put that in perspective. The 9th house Aries sun, Dolo has this, by the way. A huge reason why Dolo the pilot man is Uriel is because his moon is in Antares. But because he's a 9th house sun royal archangel, every one of you that have 9th house suns as Leo risings, I consider you sun god kings, sun god queens. First of all, the ruler of your chart is the sun, exalted in the 9th house of God. Can't make this up. So there's a flare that you guys shine that no other fire sign shines. Of course, there are other versions of this fire, like the Sag Sun Leo rising, right? But or the Leo Sun anything. But this 9th house Sun Leo rising enables you to be the spirit teacher of authenticity. It's just whereas ancient Rose is the legendary holy soul, you're the angel soul. You are the true warrior. So both of you are on a whole nother level. And this understanding of truth you express is putting you in a position with the North Node going into your sign to really now lead the charge and be guided to challenge yourself to lead by example. It's time for you to go on this destiny path to take the resources of your social skills and to show people what authenticity looks like, whether you teach that formally or whether you teach that indirectly. Okay. So Venus going through your rising, once again, is redefining how you turn up the heat and how much you fall in love with yourself, how much you pour on this beauty to make up your appearance. You might decide to, with the retrograde, shift forever how you dress with fashion or what kind of clothes you put on and how you really embody this heartfelt return, which is really beautiful. Because as an Aries sun, both you and ancient Rose are aware of this Leo transit 5th house to you. So you're going to be aware of this as the deeper activation of your creative talents that as a Leo rising, you're going to embody and identify with. So this is literally both of you identifying with the level of fun you want to personify. And this is going to actually be super fun. The only challenge is to really overcome unalignment through other people that may get in the way of you really focusing on this fun. Because the South Node will be opposite Aries suns. And the challenge is going to be having to be uncompromisingly yourself, even if it's not popular to be. Okay. So this is definitely really beautiful, especially knowing that your rising is at 20 degrees once again. So this new moon is going to be right in your first house. You're going to really be stepping into a new cycle of expressing yourself. All right. And as a moon in Gemini, you're definitely going to feel a lot more room to breathe and to express the truth in your soul so that you can really guide others who truly belong with you to you. All right. So once again, that's so beautiful. Next, we have Angie. All right. So Angie, we know that you are the Kundalini goddess, Pluto rising, as a soul. You a whole soul reaper out here. You have too many alien constructs. Excuse me, I have to give you this alien construct article. This is ridiculous. Not only are you a celestial queen goddess, but you have Saturn on your moon in Sagittarius, which means you probably have Uranus on there too. Yeah, and then you have Pluto on your rising. Jesus Christ, you are definitely elite. So you are the ascended celestial queen as a pure queen of wisdom. Ancient Rose, do we get a king love in our life? You must claim it. Remember, you're the queen. So like you don't have to go out and look for this. You just have to live as if this king is, you just imagine every day this king is already taking you out and you're enjoying your time. And as you think as if this king is already in your life, especially you fire signs with Uranus and Taurus, you're going to manifest this instantly. You just can't necessarily waver and doubt this process. So really good question. Fly Girl Tarot, you can get a snapshot transit report with the discount code Venus if you click the link below, or you can join the queue and pay the minimum for a live reading. Just look in the description box below for instructions. Okay, so with that being said, your chart is magnificent, Angie. You that girl from under, you are different. I already know you're not from here. You are an alien. You are a soul reaper. So you are here. You have the understanding of this awakening of busting through the matrix. This is ridiculous. And this is in the second house. So you can literally manifest anything you visualize like that. Please do not front. Please do not act like you don't got it like that, because your chart is legit. Okay, so you literally can just hold that vision in your soul, and you have such an extremely pure personality that you keep the knowledge you're aware of hidden, because in the fourth house, you definitely hold down this family of knowledge and library of knowledge that puts you in a position to very extraordinarily express a whole lot of, I'm glad that Sag Rising, you identify with that too, a whole lot of your ascended knowledge. Okay, XXX Tentacion, Daylight, some of the most talented Aquarians have Moon and Sag, and you guys are able to just evoke wildness in the crowd because of your genius of how you're able to. But you have Uranus on your moon too, so you can channel high frequency beings, you can predict elections, conceptions, you have these flash insights of vision that with Saturn here definitely puts you into 12th house perfection. Means you're letting go of your old mortality and you're stepping in fully into the goddess post Saturn return. So you've already had the south node unlock your personality, and guess what, your north node is in Aries, so you're going through a nodal return, and your nodal return is based on your destiny aspect with the Lord. Like you, it's not like you having Mars in Aries and the north node in Aries is huge. So like you're meant to lead the charge on the service, the authentic service you're here to help people really gain. Your destiny is to live the most authentic lifestyle possible in service of just sharing your authenticity with others. But the challenge is you have to be selfish. You have to be selfish with how you really integrate this raw attitude into your behavior and lifestyle. Because this Aries sixth house is third house from your Aqua sun. Okay, sensei, thank you very much. All right. And this being like that puts you in a position to very powerfully break through any old behavioral understandings. You're going to be releasing unconscious habits and hidden relationships that get in the way of you living the lifestyle you're meant to live independently and individually. So this Venus transit is in your 10th house. And what's important is we know that Venus and Mars are opposite your Aqua Sun, which is seventh house of relationships. So this is you getting married to the game. This is your relationship with career success. These are relationships with others who bring you to the top of success in career. Shout out to Cheza. She's an Aqua Sun who newly formed a relationship during this opposition. So it is very possible that with the new moon here in your 10th, you are going to start a new cycle of significant partnerships, but this also could be a new cycle of success that, of course, humps you over to the next level. So that 10th house emphasis is going to feel very passionate with you, especially as you express this radical authenticity to free up the burden that Saturn puts on our souls. Okay, can sometimes feel like you have a tax burden on your very existence because someone has definitely claimed you, which in this case it may be you as a celestial goddess. But this is definitely putting a lot of perspective into how creatively you formulate the unconventional nature of your relationships and lifestyle. Remember, Uranus and the nodes are coming out of your seventh, but Uranus and Jupiter is evolving your partnerships. So everything about this suggests significant relationships that are getting ready to add so much more radical value to your authenticity in life. And this is where you're going to be aware of this Venus transit and how your relationships with others bring out more creativity from your heart and how you apply that creativity in the goals you want to achieve in your career. So this is a really good period to put in orders pre-glow up to what success you want to come into. And by the time we step into that new moon in Leo, the North Node is already starting to return to your North Node Aries, and everything is aligning in your life. And boom, you're literally seeing very quickly the results and rewards of these career goals come into fruition and play. I feel like the Pluto on the rising will really just add more intensity with Pluto close to your sun of how this is breaking through super psychic powers and abilities. And please feel free to read the alien construct article for Pluto instrument and Saturn vessel and Uranus vessel, okay? For how that might personally express. Sensei Matt, Fly Girl. Let me see. Oh, Sensei Matt, you actually sent PayPal. Got you. Please, for those of you who sent, for Sensei Matt and Jennifer, please email me your chart. Isaiah, I got your chart. Fly Girl, I don't believe I got your chart. Sensei Matt, you actually gave me your chart. So Cap Sun, Libra Moon, Aries Rising. Jennifer, thank you for sending the chart. So Sensei Matt, as a Capricorn Sun, this Venus transit is going to be 8th house from your sun. But as an Aries Rising, it's going to be in your 5th house. Okay. And thankfully, with your moon in Libra, the reason why that's significant is the South Node. Joyce, I do have your chart memorized. I know you're Virgo rising, Aries moon, Gemini sun. So I definitely got you. I will say personally, this is definitely going to be challenging because the 8th house nature with which you will be expressing a majority of so much of the awareness of this transit is going to challenge you to break through old comfort zones of who you trust. Thank you, Joyce. And it's very, very important because this is putting you in a position to really develop so much more creativity and fun relative to who you trust expressing that. The way this sounds and looks to me, this is going to open up a huge element of potential for sexual engagement, development, people who bring you out your comfort zone, people who bring you out your comfort zone, especially to stimulate sexual activity, but even in a platonic sense, gaining more deeper intimacy with people, and also dealing with others financially and having them invest in what your creative talents are. Because as an Aries rising, first of all, the North Node is going to be in your rising sign. So you're going to be with the South Node on your moon. Thank you, Fly Girl Tarot. Feeling the release and feeling the unlocking of your soul power. You're going to feel what other people are acting as, so that this will help you know what direction to take your personality. And while this is happening, you are integrating this deeper understanding of where you feel at home and how you can creatively express this, especially when Leo enters your fifth and Venus starts to retrograde. This is definitely going to reevaluate how much more creatively and passionately you put your heart into what you love to do. The new moon cycle here in your fifth house, especially, is going to activate a new cycle of creativity, especially. So, this is a great period to work on a creative project or to naturally be led into this level of deeper creativity while Uranus and Jupiter is manifesting bank for you. All right. And evolving how much more money you can make. So all of this as a Capricorn sun is geared towards who you trust with this level of creativity and who's willing to invest in your creative projects and values. Clearly, the more fun you have with this transit, the better that this will very powerfully and clearly open up for you accordingly. And I really feel like there's going to be a new approach towards really stepping into your talents and how you transform your life with these new developments as well post new moon. Okay, so next we have Detailer. And as a late Scorpio rising, I feel like what this is going to do is really shift the direction you want to take your career legacy in. Your Sag moon will be inspired and you will be feeling really powerful inspiration. Okay. Relative to what developments in your career and how things are coming together show you. All right, Soul Star, my Cash App info is in the description box below. It is a $ the peace dealer. Okay. Once again, Venus that's going to be going through your 9th and 10th house is going to be showing you how elements of your own career path are shifting so that you can step more into goals you've been wanting to achieve. This is going to be super fucking exciting because the North Node is going to shift into Aries. And now the way to actually make that happen is going to open up for you. So this is where you might have felt stuck before with the North Node in Taurus, where like you had the game plan, but maybe perhaps certain people you're dealing with or certain things that you needed to facilitate weren't there yet. This is where it's going to open up. Venus in Leo, North Node in Aries. And this is where the individual authentic pathway to get there, the North Node in Aries is going to take you down. And who to do it with, Venus is going to be opposite your Aqua Sun. So this development in your career that's going to shift with the retrograde is going to be facilitated through your awareness of relationships with other people socially who push you forward in your career, opportunities that really come through. And Valerie, thank you for confirming this, because this will also apply to all of you Scorpio risings. The only thing that's going to be different with Detailer is his awareness of this as Aquarius will make him aware of this with relationships with other people. And also, because your moon is in Sag, once again, you're going to be feeling super inspired about what visions you hold space for. And this will enable you to know things more before they happen. So really trust where you see things going, especially because with that new moon in the 10th, this is going to be a great period to put out any creative projects, to start working on creative projects. The minimum is 30, by the way. Just to be clear, much appreciated, Ralph. I got you. This is definitely putting you in a position and period to very realistically and very powerfully engage with the right people. But I think what's going to be awesome about this is the squad is going to come together. Like everyone's going to start to come together, and you're going to be unlocking unconscious fears around who you can trust in relationships to facilitate so much more of this powerful movement and development. Okay. Next, we have Queen Joyce. Okay. Much appreciated. Do you like Princess Joyce or Queen Joyce? I wanted to honor the princess because Diamond Water, thank you. I got your Cash App because of the Virgo rising, but I don't know if you feel it more like the Queen. Appreciate you, Ralph, or you feeling more like the princess. All right. So regardless, we know that you are, of course, Jennifer Lopez. Thank you. We know, of course, you have Jupiter on your sun. Queen, you got the king of the gods and the goddess of beauty in Gemini with your sun. So it's the perpetual reminder that you are literally here to do great things. Kanye West, one of the most legendary Geminis ever, has Jupiter on his sun. So Joyce, I know you've been feeling this for a while. You're getting ready to blow the fuck up. And I think a lot of this has to do with your business. So everything that since 2012 you have evolved in your career. I think 2012 was when the idea to level you up came through. Well, now you've come full circle. So coming in the next year, you're blowing up. Like that, you have to accept that it is what it is. And this is the year where you're grounding the philosophical values on where you're knowing your stuff. Like you're leveling up how well you can teach about what it is you do. So like you may even be in a position to travel and share this insight, because once this goes into the 10th house in Gemini, it's on and popping. You're going worldwide, my friend. Okay. And this, I think, is going to be so rewarding for you, especially with the North Node that's going to go through Aries. It's immediately going to go over your sun and your moon. So you have a master moon in Aries on the asteroid Amor. So it's, there's so much loving kindness that people can't help but feel for you. And if they're in denial, they just hate on you for no reason. So all of this 12th house energy that is in your 12th will be trining the North Node on your moon. You are going to feel very powerfully during the end of July and coming into August where you're meant to move forward to, who you're meant to move forward to. This is going to happen in the 12th. So this may only make sense to you. It's very important that you trust implicitly who you feel you're meant to be around, what friends you feel you're meant to trust, who you feel you're meant to deal with during this period, because this is going to very, very powerfully begin the process of transcending you out of old habits where you may have kept certain talents hidden. This is even deeper because you have the South Node 29 degrees Leo. You have a master alien destiny. 29 degrees North Node Aqua is nuts. Okay. So there is a hidden sense of your spirituality that you've been destined to keep hidden, because people will act like you're delusional when really you are more of an angel than people are ready to accept. You're like queen of the angels in a sense. So this is going to really redefine the reevaluation of how you communicate elements of your own spiritual beliefs in ways that align with people super magically. And the crazy thing is that in the moment, it might sound crazy as hell to people, but it's going to click either instantly that moment or later on that day. So let's really look into the 12th house nature of this transit, because this is most definitely putting you in a position. Shout out to Diane. This is most definitely putting you in a position, and shout out to Karen, to really transcend the element of how you believe in your heart. Okay. And this is where, as a Virgo rising, like, you have the king of the gods and the goddess of beauty in the same sign as your sun in the 10th house. And then you have the queen of all goddesses, Juno, on your rising. You're an embodiment of the queen of God. So, like, you are such a queen that I feel like the way you really believe in this is going to reflect more in a social setting. You've never necessarily doubted it, but there's an approach to it where you may have held it back your whole life because you maybe had challenge in expressing how you integrate this knowledge into your lifestyle until now. So a lot of this is going to really revisit a lot of these unconscious habits that could really hold in a large part of this talented creativity. So this can express itself in a way through your business as well, and through a lot of what you're facilitating, as all this will break through into Virgo. And then you will begin post retrograde to actually perfect how you express this. Through your rising. Okay. And it's crazy. Like, a lot of the stuff you were bullied for is what people are just going to completely enamor themselves over for you. I even sense very powerful romantic opportunities. Thank you, Valerie. I really feel like there will be certain people fighting over your attention, both male and female. So you are definitely going to have a lot of opportunity to kind of, choose which path you want to go through. And this is why you want to trust your soul, because the answer may not look conventionally what people would think is the smart thing to do. And because you have Saturn transiting your 7th, oh, that girl from yonder, I emailed it back to you. So the email that you sent me, your chart, I emailed the link to you. So basically, you know, this is personally the period where you're getting prepared for marriage, business partnerships, especially with Saturn and Neptune in your 7th. You're sponsoring divine partnerships that are going to last, I think, for the rest of this karmic cycle. So definitely the law of assumption that's being practiced and living in the end state, I think you're going to come into fruitful rewards. But by the time the North Node shifts into Cancer, totally got you, and puts yourself in a position to very powerfully and very beautifully break through by result, or by consequence, my friend, is most definitely going to have you feel this sense of purpose, like it's finally time to move and everything's just going to be clicking for you. That 12th house nature, though, could have you feel a little bit less lethargic or working on creative moves behind closed doors. So really just go with the flow. And I'm still gonna hit you up. We still gonna link up for sure. And this is most definitely going to be a super awesome connection. I'm so glad this is spot on. I think you're really ready to move forward with important people who are going to really help the dream get real too. Shelly Bombshell, I am doing live readings today. Of course, for any of you who would like the snapshot transit report, I do have the half off code Venus. For those of you who want a more in-depth 15-minute reading, don't be shy. Okay, I only have 15 spots left. Okay, so with that being said, yes, I totally got you. Let's get it. So Joyce, I really hope you enjoy that. I think it's going to be very rewarding. Isaiah, we know you are the sharpshooter divine angel. which is really huge. That is wild. The North Node is going to start to transit your fourth house, which is your fifth house, as a Sag rising. So this is going to challenge you to be so much more comfortable in expressing your creative talents. KC, if you are Kelly London, then yes, I believe I got that. Or Carrie Rudon. Carrie Rudon. I'm assuming that that is you. But Isaiah, this is definitely going to be really, really powerful. Okay. And this puts you in a position to, while the North Node is challenging you to really develop more of your creative abilities, the South Node in the 11th house is intertwining your career legacy with the people who are meant to support you. So you really want to, during this period, invest completely into everything that you find fun and creative projects that you really want to push forward to, because as a Gemini sun, this Leo transit is going to be your third house. But as a Sag rising, thank you, Shelly, this Leo transit is going to be your ninth house. So you are literally coming into the philosophy of how you express and embolden your attitude, the way you say things with your chest, the way how much more creatively you show people the meaning of love by your own social skill sets and talents. All right, Michelle, thank you very much. I got your memo. So this, once again, is really fun. This is literally geared towards helping you understand how much more fun you can have off cuff. Okay. Really? So you guys are seeing that it's sold out. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's telling me that there's 0 variant. Wow. Guys, I apologize. I don't know why it was doing that. So my apologies, guys, for those of you who were trying to order that. Please, I just shifted that. You should be able to order that now. I don't know why the variants worked the way it did. So it kind of registered that there was none left, but you should be able to order those reports now. So once again, the code word is Venus, and the code word for the Mercury transit talk is Mercury. Okay, so the Venus report is available. I apologize. I wish that did not happen. That is very inconvenient. But you should be able to order that now. Okay. Let me make sure that it's still there. So Isaiah, this is definitely once again going to really bring to a greater understanding a lot more how you not only lead by example, but you're going to be very inspired by seeing the effect of how you communicate with people and brighten up their day. Especially as a Pluto Sag, you are the embodiment of this awakening, right? And Joe, I'm so glad it could help. This is definitely putting you in a position to really embody this sense of how you express this truth. And you're going to be finding so much more of your voice. Like the retrograde is you really finding your voice in a way that will make it more fun for you to teach what you teach and be so much more passionate about what you love to do and teach. Okay, so that's what to look forward to here. Once again, for those of you who are trying to order the report, but it said it was sold out, it should be available now. So once again, the half off code for the Venus transit is Venus, and the half off code for the Mercury transit is Mercury. Okay, for any of you who want the Mercury in Gemini report. Whew. So Jennifer, we know that you have Leo, Sun, Sag Moon, Libra rising. So as a Libra rising, you are having the South Node that wait. I'm assuming Jennifer, you're Jennifer Kaluori that is here. I want to make sure that's the right Jennifer, right? But basically, Vicky Perez. Vicky, I'm assuming, yeah, you're Fly Girl. Okay. So Jennifer, as a Libra rising, you most definitely, and I appreciate you, Isaiah. As a Libra rising, you're in a position where this is going to be in your 11th house. But as a Leo sun, this is your first house. So you're going to be, first of all, Leo sun, Libra risings, you're famous. You're effortlessly famous, especially as a ascended queen, ascended courage and fire queen. As an artist, you're famous. Whether you really accept that or not, this is most definitely fame energy. Like you bring the entourage wherever you are. So you're gonna really embody and identify with this new cycle of friendships and this sense of belonging, especially since the South Node is transiting during your rising. You're going to be unlocking your own balanced personality to find authentic individuals to partner with and to put them on, to put your artistic touch into their lives, to be led and challenged by the right raw individuals to bring out more of your authenticity. And so this is a beautiful period because this, I think, is going to be a major realization of making new friends. Another Sag Moon, yes, of making new friends. I think it's the most Sag Moons I had in one reading. Shout out to Forest Fairy Tarot. Much appreciated. As well as, putting yourself in a position to create the support from the right people to most definitely not only hook you up, but really show you all the love necessary in creating how powerfully you're in a position to be the artist you're meant to be. So you definitely don't want to compromise elements of your personality that hold you back. You want to really move towards what more you can do with other people. And with the 8th house energy, that's 10th house to your Leo sun, 8th house to your Libra rising, this is also going to transform the investments that you're making, which bring greater success to your awareness of your legacy and career. So I really like this because the Venus retrograde, I feel like, is going to redefine who you trust and how much more fun you have with your friends. Even if you consider yourself introverted and you keep to yourself, which I cannot imagine with all this fire energy. You literally, with this sun moon rising, I have to imagine you're the life of the party. I have to imagine that you're the people that people go to when they go out. Like you're literally the shining bastion in the sun. All right. And 12 NCs, I got you. Much appreciated. So this is definitely putting you more in a position than ever to very realistically not just open up, this sense of Kiki love, to not just open up this sense of what it is you are doing, but to also put yourself in a position to realistically break through into the influence you have towards others. I think this is going to be a beautiful position to see how much more influence with the glow up period and new moon that people are inspired just by your presence. Because Libra rising, especially, is such a powerful, balanced rising that this puts you in a position. Uh oh. Yeah, this puts you in a position to break through. And now knowing that you have Venus on your rising, oh my gosh, you're literally the definition of true beauty. Okay, which is beautiful. It's different when you have Venus and its dignity on the rising. So I have to imagine, especially with the alien constructs you have. So you also are a soul reaper. You hold within your soul the total vision of everything you can create. So you are personally a supernatural goddess of how you express your artistry. You're someone who can literally speak life into your creations and hold yourself as a vessel to really break through into how you influence those around you. The ruler of your chart is on your rising. So you literally are like the definition of true beauty. And I feel once again, Venus retrograding over your sun is going to adjust a whole lot of how much more courageously you express that and how much more powerfully you're in a position to once again flex your swag, your beauty, and your glory. Much love, Janice. So I think you're really going to enjoy this, as this will go back into the 12th and the Virgo and then really reevaluate how you step forward during Libra season. But a lot of rewards from career post Cancer season, a lot of support relative to how realistically you are in a position to very powerfully and very magically not only beef up this support, but step into so much more influence. So I think this is also a really great opportunity to put out creative work and projects, to collaborate with other people, especially with the North Node that will be transiting your 7th house during this period. And I think this is your nodal return as well. And you're going through a nodal return as well. I emailed you that alien construct article. So this nodal return is also going to pair you with people who you're destined to connect with. And it wouldn't be far off to say you're preparing for, new relationships during this period. So it's a lot to get excited about. Okay. Next, we have Fly Girl, Miss Vicky. Okay. Vicky, we know that you have the Gemini sun, Libra moon, and Sag rising. Okay, and the stellium with Gemini. I love that. Saturn and Mars in Scorpio is also really significant because we have Uranus and Jupiter opposite this in Taurus. And as a Sag rising, this is unlocked the unconscious habits and wisdom of your own spiritual beliefs so that you can ground this very innovatively into your lifestyle. So as a Sag rising, you're transcending a lot of how you ground your routine and lifestyle to facilitate greater magic. So this Leo transit is going to really ascend the philosophical approach towards what and how you express your words, how your words will light up people's lives, and how a lot of how you communicate is going to inspire a lot of people. And this is very important once again, because being born in 84 definitely puts the influence of the nodes post return for you to really prepare to dive so deep into the support you gain towards what you are creatively disposed as your talents to express. So it's a really great period to focus on what you love and to work on a creative project you may have never even thought of. Like if you work on an album, if you do something that you love, the South Node in your 11th house is going to take friends of the heart who are willing to invest and support what you're doing. And this is going to really secure a period where now that you are manifesting an unconventional automated lifestyle, this is going to put you in a position to very powerfully not only create the lifestyle that is aligned with you, but to come into independence, making a living off of what you love to do. And this might even be for the first time ever for you, but if this is something you're already doing, you're going to see huge, considerable breakthrough. And that's where it's cool that as a seventh house Gemini with the stellium in Gemini, you are the truth blaster. And this is putting you in a position to overcome a lot of the 12th house elements that have kept you stuck. And as a result, also really put a lot of flair and sauce into the effect your words will have on other people. So I think this is going to develop social talents that will really lead by example and put you so much more in a position to very magically have so much more fun expressing what it is you love to share with people, and to say things a lot more boldly, a lot more confidently, and to step up so much more into this leadership position. So I really hope that speaks to you, because that is super awesome. Okay. Let's see. Sag, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Aqua Rising. So Sensei Matt. Okay. Sensei Ma. Um, did you send a PayPal? There we go. So Sensei, we do see that you have an Aries rising, which is gangster, and your sun is in Cap. Oh, I have to give you the alien construct article. You have the audacity to be one of the most powerful alien constructs. So all you Capricorn wizards with Neptune and Uranus in your sign, yeah, you're born 94. This is ridiculous. Y'all know you're super powerful, right? Like, it's probably uncomfortable how powerful y'all are. And I really want to do a documentary, Jennifer. I'm so glad you love that reading. I really want to do a documentary on Capricorns born in the 90s, especially the suns, moons, and the rising with the suns, because personally, Neptune and if you read that alien construct article, you can channel higher frequency beings, you can ascend, you can literally heal and hypnotize others using hypnotherapy, hypnotism, and Mercury gives you this ability to properly manipulate matter. All right, I think Seneki, Senseni. All right, this is a very appropriate name, especially with the Ma realization. You're definitely on some goddess vibes. And this North Node in Aries is pointing towards your destiny path of unlocking who you are. I think for the first time post Saturn return, now that you're going through your Saturn return, I mean, literally, Saturn is on your Saturn right now. You are getting ready to blossom the belief about your divinity to where you can warp reality with this. It's becoming more real for you than ever. And so while Jupiter and Uranus are literally radically evolving the nature of how you unlock your own value in yourself, we know that this Leo retrograde Venus transit is going to be in your fifth house, because you're evolving yourself so much more, because you're stepping into a greater realization of the power that you possess, which is elite at a level beyond more than 99% of the world population. The way you approach fun is never going to be the same. It's going to be completely different, especially who you have fun with, because this opposition with Pluto in your 11th is going to awaken a brand new collective of people who resonate with you. I feel like you've had to hold back elements of your own value just to really engage with other people in a way that doesn't make you look like the super woke one. When you're not trying to be super woke, you are super woke. It's not something you're trying to be, but for people who aren't at that level, they can feel like you're too serious about things, when you are most definitely the classic you're the classic director. Okay, you're fully cardinal. So, like, you're literally the embodiment of power, rawly expressed. And the South Node is going to unlock soul understanding of what relationships to release, or what approach socially to shift, so that you can step more into your individuality than ever one moment. I just got ding dong dish. There was no one in the front door. So basically, I'm so glad that resonates with you because you're gonna feel the shift instantly. You feel Cancer, and it's gonna move in the North Node. You're going to feel so much more purposeful that you're doing what you're meant to do, and no matter how individual this brings it to you to and challenging it may be, move in that direction because you're going to feel more at home with yourself than you've ever felt. All right. And so this fifth house transit is going to this fifth house transit is going to put you in a position to really develop more authentic fun with what you love than you've ever had before. You're going to revisit it in a new way. The new cycle with the yacht is also going to really help you engage the most from creative projects. And personally, because you're a Capricorn sun, you're going to be aware with this of who you can be more intimate having fun with, who you can trust with creative elements of your heart, and how much deeper you can really come into greater wealth with who you invest in these creative talents with. All right. So next we have Diamond Water. All right. Sag Sun, Taurus Moon, Aqua Rising. All right. Sag Sun, Taurus Moon, Aqua Rising. So relative to this, we know that as a high queen, this is also a very famous, fame-driven spot. Nicki Minaj is a classic example of this. So Aqua Rising Sag Suns blow my mind because Sag Suns are fire gods and fire goddesses. A fire goddess alone is a controversial existence. Like y'all existence is already amazing in ways that shift the status quo. I mean, you're a literal wildfire. So the Aqua Rising Sag Sun is the high queen of all the fire goddesses. Imagine seeing one Sagittarius and then you see the queen of all Sages. That's what Nicki Minaj represents. And you can see that in the game, how people kind of show her props. They either have to get on her good side or beef with her. She don't play that. So you have this as a Taurus moon exalted. You're the exalted natural ascended queen, which is super royal. Okay. You have a very grounded understanding of how super magical you are and how in the 11th house you're meant to show that to the collective. So as an Aqua Rising, this Leo transit is going to be in your 7th house, and you're going to be aware of that as a Sag Sun, 9th house to you. So this transit is going to show you the philosophy of how you form more passionate connections with other people, how you show people the meaning of love through leading by example in your partnerships. And I want to really emphasize that because the retrograde that's going to happen in your 7th is going to reevaluate the direction you move forward with certain people, as the North Node that's going to be 3rd house to you in your 5th is going to focus a lot more. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. It's definitely, and I heard she dropping an album. It's definitely going to focus a lot more on how creatively you express your raw ideas. Because the North Node is 3rd house to your Aqua Rising, but it's 5th house to your Sag Sun. So there's a much more ascended creativity relative to how much fun and authenticity goes into what you say. That connecting to the 7th house is going to enable you to express that directly to other people. And it's going to really show others how much you show up to these relationships. So there's a lot of fun that this 7th house transit in a new cycle with the new moon in your 7th house is going to facilitate relative to who you not only inspire through with this, but also put in a position to very, very magically and strongly strengthen this expression of how it is you relate with other people as High Queen, and also how you're manifesting with your imagination with Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house in Pisces. especially because your moon is in Taurus. So you're feeling this soul evolution with Jupiter. It's innovating how you ground your roots. So you still have this individual values you feel while you're expressing yourself out to the world. So that's really a major theme with the seventh house, aqua, based on the aqua rising, ninth house to your sun, really showing you the higher meaning of how much stronger to show up in relationships with others. And I think this really can facilitate new friendships and new relationships with that new moon. Dom, what is your rising? I know you're a Virgo sun and Sag moon, but could you please let me know your rising again? Let's see. Oh, Saturn Leo. So, Carrie, so so Carrie, we know that you. Oh, we know that you're true integrity, and you're going through a nodal opposition. Cancer. There we go. High priestess, love it. So we know you have the nodal opposition, and relative to the nodal opposition, you having your sun in Capricorn is putting your awareness of this transit in the eighth house. You have Mars and Leo retrograde. So Venus and Mars going over your Mars in retrograde. Oh, Shelly, please email it. Michelle, please email your chart once again, just in case. Um, just so I can have that on hand. And thank you very much. So we know that your awareness of this transit is going to be, of course, oh, KC. There we go. Oh, no wonder. Okay. Kelly, thank you. So this is personally your awareness of how you're going to trust more people. And it's interesting because you have Saturn 0 degrees Virgo. So congratulations. You have completed the Saturn return you started 2008. And that's very important because Saturn is your ruling chart as a Cap Sun. So, relative to that opposition, a lot of your karmic responsibility to have authority over behavior and routine, you have now completed relative to how well you control your imagination and beliefs, how you reflect the elements of your behavior in your beliefs. It is a huge deal because now this is enabling you to really express this through the mastery of your own skill sets of using your imagination. So this Leo transit, that's eighth house to your sun, is going to speak of who you invest your creativity in. It's also going to speak on, and yes, it definitely ain't easy. I feel like that's one of the more difficult Saturn transits. It's definitely also going to speak towards who you trust with your knowledge. Because as a Cap Sun, Aqua is your second house. Well, Leo is your eighth house of who you invest your knowledge towards creatively. And because Mars and Venus have already gone over your Mars, this is stimulating a lot more, might be frustrating at first, the passion with which you move forward with. And that's where the North Node that's coming into your South Node is unlocking the approach with how powerfully you feel more comfortable expressing authentic aspects of yourself with other people. and where you feel at home doing so as well. Because with Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, this is manifesting a lot more creativity relative to your Capricorn sun about where to direct your value. And this is actually a great period to come into significantly more wealth now that Pluto is awakening more deeper knowledge of how you step into it. And also the grounding quality of how you innovate your lifestyle through this as well. So I think this is going to add so much more luck relative to really manifesting what you want to manifest and stepping more into this grounded sense of creativity. And now that the North Node is coming out of this point, this is going to really now put you in the direction of where you can feel at home, grounding all this creativity, which is going to heavily influence who you trust. So I really have every reason to believe, especially since we're in Cancer season, which is your relationship house, this is going to coincide new relationships and friendships that will engender deeper trust and deeper intimacy. Who do you feel more comfortable expressing more intimate qualities of your creative passions with? Who do you actually trust with genius ideas of yours? Because, of course, all this Libra energy you're unlocking is going to put you in a very powerful position, realistically, to open up the sense of course, oh, nice, how powerfully you are in a position to realistically open up who you move forward to in this career success and what social dynamics enable you to move in the right direction of what you want to achieve or what your current career goals are. Because, of course, the fourth house Aries awareness is, if you know what it is you want to accomplish, what environment and home space is going to provide that authentic feel for you to approach your career properly. And that's where the opposition of the nodes, I think, is going to really complete a whole lot of what Saturn could lead, because you're going through a nodal opposition and a Saturn opposition. Saturn to Saturn, North Node to North Node. So you are literally completing destiny and you're completing karma. This is your harvest. I think you're seeing the actions of 10 to 17 years complete itself, which is a huge deal. So this is suggesting work that you've put in near your whole life. And I think this is going to, yes. And also Uranus to Uranus. I'm so glad you mentioned that too. The Uranus to Uranus opposition is literally from Scorpio to Taurus, grounding with Jupiter evolving this supernatural ability. So this at the Capricorn God level is enabling you as an angel soul with a Gemini moon to articulate how you are transforming your own behavior relative to fully expressing this. No longer having to understand and learn this. Now you can flex this out and move forward. And eventually, once all this moves into Virgo, this is now going to show you the details of how this Venus transit in retrograde transformed how much more you connect with people socially. I think after this transit, you're going to be a lot more willing to share so much elements of these towards others as well in very, very powerful ways. Okay. So next we got Michelle. Okay. Oh, honey, I actually did your second. So if you rewind back to the beginning of these talks, which wasn't too far away, you are the second live reading that I did after Stephanie. Okay. So thankfully it'll be easy to find, but I think I started these maybe 30 minutes ago. So please let me know if you're able to find that. Okay. So let's see. Beautiful. So we know you have the 29-degree Cancer rising, which is amazing. and you have your late Virgo sun on Pluto, which is supernatural, literally. And it's beautiful because North Node Pisces means that your destiny is to bridge your awareness. And yes, this is for you. Oh, no. Hold on, let me see. Virgo sun, Cancer rising, Pisces moon. Yes. So you're taking the element of your super analytical awareness, and your destiny is to find your soul. It's actually very symbolic because it could be easy for you to rest on. And Tiff, the minimum is 30, but if you would like the snapshot transit report, for those of you who want the snapshot transit report, I have 14 spaces left and 9 left for the half off code. Venus will get you half off with the code. If you click the description box below, you'll see the instructions to join the live reading. The minimum is 30. So basically, Michelle, this is really beautiful. I really want to speak on this because your destiny is to uncover the divine nature of your soul. You're very much so a divine soul teacher. And this really involves dealing with nebulous forces collectively that your soul guides you to, and using your discernment and analysis to protect your value, because it could be very easy to trust in or to fall back on what you analyze physically, but your soul is going to be calling you to believe beyond that. This is where law of assumption and literally following the nonlinear nature of mind over matter will help you accomplish this destiny. Because if you analyze and pick up so much details, if you get so caught up on what you see that's real, you'll forget that you can change it. Your divine soul can change that, and you're going to show in dealings with others and teach people how to change reality with the magic of your beliefs and soul. So as a late Cancer rising, all this Venus transit is going to manifest on your appearance. This is going to reevaluate a whole lot of how you really express beauty towards yourself. This is going to have you beaming, especially with this glow up with the actual conjunction. Is going to start a new cycle of self-expression and how much more confident you are in yourself. This is even more beautiful because Saturn is retrograding on your North Node. So you're accomplishing a very powerful element of your destiny here that will really extend a lot of this challenge towards mastering this element of your soul and belief and who you can trust. Because now your MC in Aries means that you're also going through considerable career evolution. And this is grounding with Saturn and Taurus, who you achieve this success with and the individual nature of how you allocate so much of these rewards. This is even so much more beneficial as a Virgo sun, because after Venus leaves Leo and Mars enters Virgo with Mercury, you're going to instantly be able to analyze how to really apply all these shifts. And the North Node that's going to shift into Aries is going to move you towards the direction of your legacy. And it's beautiful that you teach children how to swim. Wow, that's so beautiful. And I feel like the way you teach them how to swim helps them come into more belief in themselves. Even if you're not breaking it down, you have the trust that the unspoken message is going to be there. It's really beautiful. That's really significant. And of course, because once again, the North Node is going to be coming through your 10th, you're going to be recognized for what you're doing. This is going to move you towards a new direction in your career and how you come into the success in your career. And I think that's really, really, really amazing that, especially with this retrograde, the way you reevaluate and redefine how much beautiful you see yourself and pour love in yourself and fall in love with yourself will really considerably influence very powerfully how you move forward, completely expressing this and then manifesting a lot of money by the time all this spills over into Virgo. So that's really a lot to look forward to. especially with Jupiter that's opposite your Jupiter in Taurus. So you're completing that evolution cycle. And this is definitely going to challenge how much more you purify the nuance of expressing very powerful elements of this. Because guess where Pluto is? Exactly on your DC. Okay. So it definitely pushes through. Ralph, I definitely recommend um getting the report if you want more info in the 12th and put that in the notes. But I will mention that in this live reading right now too. So just in case. And Raija, thank you very much. I did get your snapshot report for Venus. Okay. So next, no problem, honey. Next, we do have Ralph. Okay. Aqua Moon, Gemini rising, Pisces rising, Gemini moon, Aqua sun, 12th house Aqua sun. So you've had Saturn go over your 12th, bro. That must have been excruciating because you've had to really come to terms that the only one who's going to have responsibility over the psyops you face and this collective responsibility to hold space for the knowledge of everyone is you. And now that you've accepted this responsibility, it going over your rising in Pisces is facilitating this embodiment of the world as a God level elite and true angel soul. So basically, as a Pisces rising, this Venus transit is going to be your 6th house. But as an Aqua sun, it's going to be your 7th house of relationships. So you're going to be aware of how the development of relationships with other people influence your behavior, and how your behavior you're adding more creative courage and fun and passion to influences the relationships that form through. It is a very auspicious period to date and to perhaps come into new relationships and to meet new people. So it's a really great period to shoot your shot, make any moves. Venus, of course, will be hooking you up relative to how you express this. So you may find a lot more ease of efficiency in stepping into this. And because the North Node is going to be coming into Aries, I know you have your online shop with what you produce. I think this is going to really put a lot more focus into the right people with the South Node in your 8th house who you'll see invest in what you have. So this is going to be, and Michelle, no problem. All right. This is going to be a very amazing opportunity for you to realistically open up such a greater element of who's investing in what you're worth, focusing a lot more on how you share and integrate what you have and what you're producing with the right people, because all that 2nd house Aries energy is going to integrate in how creatively you form this routine, especially as we have the new moon in the 6th. This is going to start a new cycle of relationships that influence how you live your life. So you really want to ask yourself, hidden in the 12th house. See, this is different because your sun is in the 12th. So you're already aware of the unconscious spiritual beliefs, the knowledge of who you truly are, and how that constitutes yourself as a divine being. So Leo wants you to fill in the color of how creatively you live that life. And a large part of this is not letting this just be in your head, but finally actually creating the lifestyle that makes sense of this, so that by the time this all goes into Virgo, you're now seeing for real the real partnerships and connections with people who also facilitate this socially. And Ralph, please let me know if this is accurate for you, because once again, with the North Node that's shifting into your 2nd house, and then all this 3rd house activity as a Pisces rising, you're coming into a much more private understanding of the natural skills and abilities that are allowing you to warp reality like your body is a remote control for the universe. So I think a lot of facets that might have kept you in the dark relatively, especially about how to make sense of a lot of these things, are revisiting itself in a way that once again kind of uh inspires you to reformulate the understanding of how you make sense of all of this, and what powerfully you're in a position to redefine the power of your words and how they materialize. And once again, this is really going to create more fun in what kind of routines you develop with other people, so that you can integrate your behavior with people who align with what direction you're taking the money you're about to be making, and how much more passionately you step into this raw definition of your character, and how your art really is the voice of what it is as well you're doing. Okay. So next we have Queen Dom. Okay. We know that your rising is in Cancer. And as a Cancer rising, Venus is going to be your second house. So this is the money house. This is going to charge, as current Mars and Venus in your second house are adding a much more passion towards your desire to not only make money, but look like a total diva doing it. And we know you've progressed into Leo rising. So this is also having you embody this sense of value, and to really, fall in love with what you're worth and how you embody that. This is going to be very powerful for money because Jupiter has recently evolved your legacy. So this is the first stage, especially by the time we step into August, of seeing the value of all the work you've put in and what kind of initial liquidation it is. Okay. So personally, because this is in fire, this may not translate specifically as just money, but so much more boldness and courage that can lead to money, or putting you in a position to realistically, really with your creativity, because I know you're an artist, uh, put music out there and it come into so much more support and enjoyment. You definitely want to continue to not back down on whatever you're cooking up. But I really do see, especially as the sun will go in Venus retrogrades, you're literally reevaluating your finances because you're making that much more money. And the big back you're focused on, especially practicing the law of assumption, is definitely paying out, especially because as a Virgo sun, this is your 12th house. So you might be blind to the potential of the money you make. You might be in this weird spot your whole life where the money you're making, you don't really realize it until it just produces in your face. And I think this effect may happen too. This is why you're going to completely reevaluate your approach to this, especially with Jupiter and Uranus squaring it in your 11th. So this is innovating the dream team. This is innovating who you really invest in and who invests in you, and how, because you're expanding the quality of your social circle of friends, this is going to put you in so much more of a position to manifest more value. Very exciting, very courageous, very passionate. And as a Virgo sun, Saturn and Neptune is opposite your sun. So this is going to be aware, like a dream coming true. You being more understanding of how the power of your own belief, the magic of your own belief and law of assumption creates results instantly. All right, would not be surprised if you do develop something like that, because this is the house of fame too, with the 11th house and with Uranus. Unexpected awakenings and serendipitous occasions are ripe to happen through experiences like this. And really, because you have the Neptune connection, you get to make it whatever you want to. By the way, by the time Mars and Venus go in your sign, and then Mercury, and then the Sun, this is going to catch up to you. This is going to be reality catching up to you. So you're going to be more in a position to have more fun relative to being aware how to shift this. So the Leo transit is going to be letting go of old perspectives, because you're seeing more money come in. You're seeing more romantic and platonic opportunities come in. You're seeing more opportunities to express your artistry come in. And with Pluto that is retrograded back into your 7th house, this is definitely going to continue to transform old archetypes of old people you're no longer around, especially now with the North Node that's going in your 10th house. So literally everything in your chart is gearing towards fame and success, because the North Node that's getting ready to transit your 10th house is going to take this very passionate career goal and direction you're taking. You're going to start to see it popping more. All the music you made before is going to start to be in the right hands. It's like you did all the work. Everything is set in place. And now this is just going to activate it. And that's where that 2nd house transit, 12th house to you, is transcending your beliefs on what it's possible for you to make. And listen, that is the best affirmation you can repeat to yourself moving forward. God loves me, and just feel like a total diva while you do this, because this is most definitely going to facilitate a very powerful element of how you enjoy all of this as well. And I hope you enjoy said transit. Okay. Whew. Okay. So next we have Tiffany. Tiff, thank you. We know your moon is in Leo and your sun is in Gemini and your ascendant is in Gemini. So you're the golden angel. You're literally the queen angel. That's amazing. So as a golden representation of truth, Queen Dom, thank you very much for your feedback. As a golden representation of truth, okay, you have the courage to speak the truth. And this might ruffle a lot of feathers, but with Venus and Mars that's in your 3rd house over your soul, this is revving up how much courage and passion that your soul feels inspired to speak. This could stimulate your soul in a frustrating but exciting way as well. And you're literally going to feel the beauty. You're going to feel the assertiveness. And this is really going to put a turbocharger on your mouth and how you express this spiciness. Especially with Lilith, you want to be encouraged to really put an extra sauce on everything you say and how you say it as well. And knowing that you have Jupiter and Taurus, you're going through a Jupiter return. So as a Gemini rising, Gemini suns and Gemini risings, this is a period of isolation and really releasing old beliefs, because next year, Jupiter is going to go over your rising. You're completely stepping into a new evolution cycle. So during that period, this is going to step you forward. And up until then, you want to really just allow things to unfold, because during that 12th house transit, things could release from you. And what looks like it's ending is preparing you for a brand new cycle. Okay. So with all of this 3rd house energy squaring your 12th house Taurus, you are redefining your attitude and approach while you're seeing the evolution of your old beliefs, and you're releasing old habits, and you're releasing old perspective. Okay, Janarian, I think you still do have time. I have like 2 more in the queue, so please feel free. And what's really, really amazing about this is that relative to a lot of how you are the golden truth, this really puts you in a position to embody this sense of enlightenment while the North Node is going into your 11th house. So it's unlocking your creativity to perform to authentic people who you can come into support and move forward with. Even if you find that you're your own team, I think this is just going to really put you in authentic spaces you belong. And this is going to facilitate more expression of how courageous to say what you say. And of course, what to say? I can't emphasize alone the new moon that's going to be on your moon sign, which is going to, I think, put you into a new direction of how much more courageously and boldly you say what you say. Because this third house is also social skills and talents that will express this activation of your new abilities through how you express this and communicate towards other people. Okay. So I feel like this is definitely, and Queen Dom, I am keeping this video up so you will be able to access the replay. This is definitely pivotal in the nature of how you are definitely going to inspire so many people and trigger others who can't handle the truth with your boldness, how you're fearless in saying what you want to say and what needs to be said, and how the North Node is going to align you with the right friends to facilitate so much of this growth and development. Okay. And of course, knowing that you do have the North Node in Pisces with Saturn that is there right now, this is also going to facilitate a eventual nodal return and karma really helping you step up to the challenge to come into this great mastery of your career, which I think is also a great aspect that is going to bless you moving forward. Engineering, please make sure you email me your chart. Chronically misunderstood, please make sure you email me your chart as well. Okay. So Janarian and Chronically Misunderstood, please email me your sun, moon, or rising and or your chart. All right. Amy Kennedy, I'm assuming that Chronically Misunderstood. Beautiful. So Leo sun, Leo moon, Aries rising. Okay, so that's no problem. I can go off of this right now. So basically, as an Aries rising, this is really beautiful because not only are you going through a Venus return, Janarian, my email is thepeacedealer@gmail.com. So basically, this is, you are so much fire. It is amazing. Okay. Uh Leo, Sun, Moon, and Venus. Jesus Christ, you are like the queen of creativity. Can I call you the queen of creativity and courage? This is, I bet you are so much fun to be around because this is so much passionate fifth house energy. This is pure performer energy. Like that, you're like the anti-hero. So you're here to shake stuff up, but your heart is still there. And Mars. So you're going through a Mars return as well. And this huge fifth house stimulation is one thing, because this is going to basically activate and redefine how much more fun, as the queen of creativity, you step into creating fun for others. Like you clearly create fun for others. And Pluto, that's coming back into your 11th house, is awakening a whole new collective and relationship with that collective that, as your audience, can really challenge and really accept a lot of what you share. So what's beautiful here is, as an Aries rising, destiny is aligning with your rising, so you can step into the personification of who you've always meant to be as the queen of creativity. You're using the resources of true partnerships who balance who you are and the attitude with which you engage with others socially to step further into this definition of your personality, which requires you to challenge yourself to step deeper into who you are and in the direction of your heart as humanly possible. Saturn and Neptune in your 12th is going to release unconscious habits around who you deal with and who you can trust, because having all this Virgo now in your second house to your Leo sun is your sixth house. So you're integrating the value of how you form your lifestyle and build your finances. And a large part of this is making sure you really focus on creative projects or this personification of how creatively you express yourself, because you're going to bridge and integrate that creativity in your relationships with other people. So this is most definitely going to reinvigorate this new cycle of creativity. But since this is a solar return, lunar return, Venus return, and Mars return, and destiny's going through your rising, I think what you're doing throughout the next 5 months is going to be super iconic. All right. Thank you, Coletta. And I love that you're filled with so many ideas, because I feel like you're going to really practice expressing every single one of these ideas. Glow up, and then by the time that transit's over, you're going to be very clear on what ideas you want to move forward with, how much fun you're going to be able to integrate with other people. And I think a lot of what you create is going to impact the rest of the world, given how you are literally aligning with all of this energy. And then with the North Node, you're moving forward so renewed. This is really coming back around to bless you in this very powerful way. And as an Aries rising, Jupiter and Taurus are your second house. So you are evolving the money these ideas can make you. And your awareness of this financial evolution is 10th house to your sun. So this financial evolution is going to really level up your career approach and how you really boss up in your career. And I feel like the South Node will bring friends from early childhood and creative partners who can really help push you forward, and vice versa. So Amy, that was really awesome to see, because that is a very awesome chart. So Linda, thank you so much for your patience. Okay, you said Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So I'm assuming that's Pisces Sun, Scorpio Moon, Cancer Rising. Please confirm that with me, okay? Because if that is the case, as a Cancer rising, this is going to manifest a very creative sense of course, passionate income, passion in how you make your money. And this is going to really beef up your self-esteem. The second house is confidence, it's self-esteem. This is going to really glow up how much more confident you express your passion with Mars, with Venus, with the new moon and Lilith. It's going to add a lot of spice in a new cycle of not only financial growth, but as a Pisces sun, you're going to be aware of this financial growth and how you integrate this excess of money into your routine and lifestyle, how you spend that money or use that money to enhance how creative you live your life. And that's where with the moon in Scorpio, you'll feel how intensely the effect of this has on your legacy. I love that you're triple water with all this psychic energy and psychic power. Saturn on your sun and Neptune on your sun is adding so much transcendence to how you express and reflect this divinity and inspire people, right? And it's so good that your passion is healing and you're a nurse, because as a Cancer rising, Chiron is in your 10th house of career. So as the North Node moves into this house of Chiron with healing, you're linking healing with your destiny and your career. So that's really cool with all the Cancer risings. Not only is this going to manifest the destiny of what direction to take your career and what finances you come through with it, this is going to bring you great success, notoriety, and rewards for your faithfulness and compassion in the healing work you've done. And this is where, you know, this karma, it's like you're cashing in all your good karma that you've worked on. And I think the first stage of this with the retrograde is reevaluating how confident in yourself you feel and how much more money that commands, how much more value that commands, and how much more you move forward, especially with that new moon with Lilith and Venus here, that's going to really activate this new cycle. Yep, 30 years in the field. So you're coming back around to just completely, literally like come back full circle. And by the time the North Node meets in Pisces, this will just kind of further exemplify this. By the way, by the time all this goes into Virgo, opposite your Pisces sun, you'll be forming an analytical, discerned attitude around what relationships to form and who to integrate that with, too, platonic or romantic. Okay, so that's a lot to keep in mind, because Jupiter and Uranus in your 11th, I think, will also be enriching friends and the quality where you belong in to really aid in how much more confident you will be feeling about yourself accordingly. All right. And finally, we have Janarian. Okay. So we know you were born in 97. You are the vessel of Uranus and Jupiter and Aqua, which is crazy because in the most extraordinary way, you are ascended sincerity and wisdom. So you know how other people feel. You can literally see and know how other people feel. And that's what really aids in how you sincerely approach and deal with other people and trust other people. Be scared as hell that you can just casually speak to their emotions that they were probably hiding. So this is important because you are manifesting the philosophical approach towards how you develop showing other people love. And Linda, no problem. Thank you. All right. And also really inspiring people with this ninth house energy about redefining how beautifully you express what it is you can teach others about what you've learned. Because with all the aqua energy in your third house, you are redefining and innovating the learning process and how you learn, period, with just clear cognizant wisdom and knowledge. So now this ninth house transit is going to be you performing on stage and showing other people how genius you are. And that's where you're taking that eccentric understanding in Aquarius, but then you're performing this in Leo in a way that integrates that detached knowledge. And I think as a Cancer sun will manifest the value of this philosophy, of how you lead by example, of how you show. And as a Sag rising, of course, the North Node that's going to transit Saturn is going to help you heal the vulnerability of who you trust and how you engage with the right friends, with the North Node coming into your fifth house that will stimulate mastery of this creativity, because the North Node is going to unlock your karma during this transit. And so the trine between your fifth house and then also your ninth house is going to link this creativity with a sense of philosophical approach of where to guide this creativity and how you're going to be inspiring so many people with what you produce. Mind you, this fifth house North Nodal aspect is 10th house to your Cancer sun. So you're going to be aware of this creativity and how it pushes you forward into greater career success pre-Saturn return. So it looks like you're going to be achieving a lot of this, breakthrough early on in your life. So I hope that resonates, because as this breaks through into Virgo season, this is going to change your behavior around what direction to take your career, and coming into Libra season, who to move forward with. All right. Pluto retrograding back in your seventh is going to definitely awaken a deeper opportunity to make money. And you definitely want to bet everything you can on your creative talents and abilities, because there will be more receptivity to this than ever. You guys are freaking amazing. Let me tell you that once again. You guys stay blessed as always. You guys show me a lot of love this live talk. Remember, this is going to be available. All right. So you can watch the replay as much as you want. You guys have a blessed weekend. I will resume tomorrow with a monthly peace report. I definitely appreciate you too. All right. Y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time.